expect temperatures to be dropping slowly through the 60s during the afternoon. Clear skies and cold tonight, full moon, 41. On Thursday, sunny and 65. Friday, partly sunny, maybe a spot shower, 71. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
You can listen to the Marc Cox Show anytime, anywhere on the free Odyssey app, AUDACY. Download it now to listen to 97.1 FM Talk. It is 5:06.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
And good morning. I'm Ryan Reicher, filling in for Marc Cox.
Oh, please.
Thank you for that. What a night for the Democrats. And I think it was Donald Trump that Truth Socialed out, and so it begins. So it seems like for the Democrat side, they got a lot to cheer for. I mean, they got pretty much everything that they wanted out of everything. The New York Post, let me read the headline here for the New York Post. So it shows a picture of Mamdani in New York City, and he's holding up the hammer and sickle. And the headline is, on your marks, M-A-R-X, get set, Z-O, it says Socialist Mamdani wins race for mayor. And then it's the red apple. What a headline from the New York Post. That's not a bad one. Good morning, Scott. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
You know, just eating some of my kids' candy before they wake up.
Good grief. You're just all over that stuff.
I got the peanut M&Ms here, but I try to purposely pick the stuff I know they're going to leave to the end anyway, which I think helps a little bit. I mean, for my own sake, I want to make sure I'm not eating all the good stuff, but it's not like I don't sprinkle it in. I try to get the stuff they're not going to eat anyway. But that's the duty of a father. It's the burden
that is,
and the duty
the burden.
of a father. If you're living in New York City today, how do you think you're feeling? It sounds like a majority like what they see, but
yeah, I just saw
a
poll of voters in New York City. It said that 25% of Democrats identify as socialists in New York City.
25%?
Yeah, 25%. That seems high. I would have thought it would be lower, but I guess not. He won, so there must be enough socialists out there voting.
Yeah, I know. I wonder what that's going to look like. It's going to be a experiment indeed. I think the way most people are looking at it as, you know what, it's not great to experiment on the country's largest city. Maybe you start somewhere in the middle and then, and see how that works out. But you're going to go straight to New York. I wonder also if people are going to put their money where their mouth is, these businesses. We see the polling out there. Some of these people, the rich people that live in the city, they're already moving out to the suburbs. They don't want to live within the city. They don't want to live within the bounds of where they can get taxed to death. And there's a lot of rich people in New York. You have to make a lot of money to live well in a city like that. So I don't know. Do you think maybe perhaps the flip side of all of this is that, I don't know. You drive the rich people out. You have a bunch of people that are trying to depend on services the city said they would provide. The tax base isn't there to provide those services. The people don't get services. The people revolt. They're done with Mamdani. Is that like the logical conclusion of how this ends?
I think it is when you look at the history of socialism. It falsely promises prosperity, equality, and security, and it ends up delivering the exact opposite.
Oh yeah,
in many cases, and I think that's probably what's going to happen here. I think it's a political theory as opposed to a logistical or practical thing that has shown over and over again works for a society. I don't think it does.
No. And, the Democrats, they got, wins pretty much all over the place. They won in New Jersey. They won in Virginia, Prop 50 in California. They got a lot of big wins last night. I heard on Fox News there, did they mention essentially they think 5 or 6 new House seats, essentially what they'll get. That's a pretty big shift for the Democrats. Now, it's not like a wave or anything. Any other year, they would love the blue wave little graphic on Twitter. Didn't really see so much, and he blew waves on Twitter this time around because, I mean, this might be one of the larger victories Democrats have had in a while. Kind of goes to show you they haven't had too many victories in a while. So I guess we'll see how this one plays out. I'm sure we'll be talking about it more over the course of the show, but we better get to that short list.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
And if there is any way to terrify a despot, it is by dismantling the very conditions that allowed him to accumulate power. This is not only how we stop Trump, it's how we stop the next one. So Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up.
Oh, turn the volume up. Oh, boy. Normally, I would equate Donald Trump to being someone that has the volume turned up at all times. Could you imagine if there was a Donald Trump dial, and he only had it halfway? Like, what would a full blast Donald Trump be like? So Mamdani is essentially baiting Donald Trump to be even more Donald Trump. I don't know if that strategy works either. I also don't think it's going to work. I think that Mamdani is in for a rude awakening when he's up against big boys that know what they're doing, and you're someone that doesn't.
When you put it down on paper, it's so improbable that it has to be orchestrated. I'm sorry, I'm not a conspiracist. You have a hard left socialist with no managerial background, 34 years old, hatred for capitalism. It sounds like an Antifa Twitter feed of the last 10 years.
That's Greg Gutfeld on Fox describing Mamdani, and I think that's a pretty good description.
I don't agree with Mamdani's solutions, and it is that I don't think they'll work. I wish it was as simple as he'd like to think. Focus on what people are concerned about. We were talking about paycheck to paycheck, off camera, and that is a focus.
I think what may happen here is what happened on The Simpsons when Homer became the trash commissioner of Springfield. And he hired a bunch of people, and it was like the service was fantastic, and everyone says Homer's the best. And then he blew through the budget all in like a month. And then you had like 11 months of no trash service. They didn't know what to do because he terribly mismanaged it. I think that could be happening to New York City. I think they're going to try to make things great. Oh, just look at how great things are. Maybe we were wrong about Mamdani, and we're out of money. So now no one gets anything.
Maybe you should become a Democrat, Marjorie.
No, I'm not a Democrat. You want to know something? I'll say this. I think both parties have failed.
Marjorie Taylor Greene on The View. What a weird, bizarro world we're living in when Marjorie Taylor Greene woos The View, where they are impressed and like her. What happened? Did we enter a parallel universe and didn't know it?
I would say yes. The answer is yes, we have.
This is basically, what do they call it? The Mandela effect, where a bunch of little things start changing. This is like a big thing that changed. Like, wait a minute, hold on. All rational thought has gone out the window when you have a socialist Marxist win the mayor of New York City, and Marjorie Taylor Greene is on The View, and they love her. They are eating her up, and she has won them over. We have definitely flipped over into an alternate universe at some point. I don't know the exact date, but it's happened. This is living proof of it. So part of that, we'll play some clips from that interview throughout the course of the show. And Mamdani went really hard on Trump in New York City, which is kind of interesting, all things considered. If you're the new leader, and a lot of Democrats, more so the ones that are trying to lean independent, that seems to be the kind of the split in the Democratic Party right now. Do we lean more independent and become an independent, or do we do a traditional Democrat, the old school, or do we go full blown as far left as we possibly can go? I mean, we're testing to see how far left is left when it comes to Mamdani. But normally when you win a major election, like if you're in a blue state, but you have other people that you need to appease to, you say things like, it's going to be tough, but I'm going to do my best for this job, and I'm going to do what's best for you. No, his speech was, we're going after you, Donald Trump, president of the United States, and you're the city of New York. It makes me wonder, too, if you're living in New York and you're like, okay, I know you hate Trump, what are you going to do for me now? Like, how's my life going to be better because you're starting a feud with Donald Trump? Normally, when you feud with Donald Trump, things get worse for you. I mean, look at the tariffs in other countries. Donald Trump is triggered by a commercial that is running in Canada. He slaps a tariff on them. What do you think is going to happen to New York City when you take that type of attitude with the president of the United States? If you think he's going to help you when you need help, then what are you going to do when something bad happens? I know that if there's like a natural disaster or something, obviously the federal government's going to react the way they do. But I think that a lot of times people go to the president and the administration and they say, hey, we need a little bit for this. We got this special project. Could you really help us with this? You're going to get zero cooperation from the federal government in that sense. How do you think that's going to work out when you lose any friendship that you may have had with the highest power in the United States? I guess we're going to find out. Oh, New York, New York. What do you think Frank Sinatra would say about this? I feel like I should ask AI to come up with a New York lyrics for today's times in the tone of Frank Sinatra and see what it comes up with. Because, I mean, that's what AI was basically built for, Frank Sinatra impersonations. When we come back, there was a kind of like an interesting interview with Erica Kirk on Fox News, and she was asked about the Jimmy Kimmel apology. And the response was interesting. So we're going to talk about that. Scott on the spot this hour. We're going to talk more about Mamdani and the effect it may have on New York City. All of this and a lot more on the Marc Cox Morning Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, if you are a northbound 55 driver, a serious incident this morning. There's an accident at 67. And crews, of course, this is in the construction zone. Crews had shut down the roadway for a while. I just put that on X at Susan 6768. But it looks to me like they've opened one right lane. Now, what I can't tell yet is whether this is people that were caught, in the shutdown and they're letting them through and then diverting it elsewhere. But it looks like at least one lane is getting by. Now, it's early enough that the jam did not even go back to 61, but boy, that jam is still serious. So if you are caught in a jam on northbound 55, hopefully that one lane being open should help. Now, other than that, we look okay at this hour. Eastbound 70, a little slow in the construction zone east of Warrenton, and westbound is slow in the one west of the Wentzville Parkway. But other than that, we are fine. But a couple of incidents for this hour. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan at McKelvey Homes. Have you always wished for a brand new home in an established neighborhood? Select one of our move-in ready custom homes throughout St. Louis, or we will build on your lot. Visit McKelveyhomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
Let's talk for just a minute about what my friends at Hanson's Tree Service are doing for the community right now. They do this every year, and I love this. It is called Operation SOS. They want to give back to local veterans, right? They serve our soldiers is what that stands for. It's a one-time-a-year program, and they will provide free professional tree care to a few deserving veterans or military families. That might include tree removal or trimming or some stump grinding, even tree health consultations if that's what you're looking for. It's kind of their way of giving back, right, for Veterans Day. So you can nominate a veteran at hansonstree.com/Operation SOS. You'll see it on their website, and it's just their way to give back. They know Veterans Day is coming up. Hanson's is serving those who served first. And because it's a way to measure gratitude in deeds and not just words, you can nominate your hero veteran today at hansonstree.com. Love that Chad Hansen does this. Again, nominate your veteran today, your hero veteran at hansonstree.com.
License number E2014A.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Lights flickering?
Grasser can fix it.
Breaker keeps tripping?
That's a Grasser job.
Outlet not working?
Grasser makes it right.
Old wiring need a rewire?
Grasser rewires with care.
From little fixes to major fixes.
Even the tricky ones.
We treat your home like our own.
Treat? Did you say treat?
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
God, remember when the Queen of Carpet and the Princess of Pile were flying around the arch selling flooring?
Andrea, that was the Queen of Carpet and the Princess of Tile.
Oh, that's right. But we don't need shtick here at Best Buy Flooring.
That's right, because our in-stock selection of carpet, carpet tile, sheet vinyl, laminate, hardwood, luxury vinyl plank, and luxury vinyl tile are already at low, low prices.
Come see us at our 3 area locations, North County, South County, and Metro East. Open 7 days a week.
Plus, free financing on approved credit. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Marc Cox Morning Show. I know it's kind of taboo to talk about the commercial that just aired, but I like shtick. I like those commercials where they were flying on the magic carpet through the St. Louis Arch. I thought those were great commercials. I love those.
They did work.
Yeah, I remember them. It's 2025. It's like 40 years later, and we remember them.
Exactly.
I mean, that's important to point out. So, welcome back to the Marc Cox Morning Show. I like to bellyache about a lot of stuff. Can I complain about how trashy my cell phone is? And I just refuse. So, if you ever drop a cell phone and you crack a screen, you live with a cracked screen for a while. That's fine. I could live with a cracked screen. Here's the problem I ran into. The little place where you plug in the power charger cracked. So the power charger doesn't actually stay locked in with the cell phone.
Ugh.
So I have to wedge my phone and the cord between two heavy things in order for it to charge. So sometimes I'll go to bed at night and my phone won't charge because the little connection just a little tiny itsy bitsy shifts, and it completely messes up everything I worked for. So that happened last night, and I'm trying to rearrange my cell phone to get the charging again because I have that. Hey, I don't want to go to work with no cell phone problem today.
You need to get one of those ones where you can just lay your phone on top of it.
I know my phone's too old. It doesn't have the wireless charging. Yeah. Is Scott okay? It looks like there's like a bee or something in the studio.
No, he's turning off the TV behind him.
Oh, no. I gotcha.
So he's too bright.
Oh, gotcha. How's the heat situation going in the studio? Because you got the jacket on. Did they fix it?
It hasn't been bad in this studio.
Yeah,
it's the other side of the building, KMOX, that they have lots of fans blowing.
Right. You're going like crazy right now. Well, I guess if you were like an 85-year-old lady, then this would be the perfect temperature for you. That's kind of what they'd like. You know, they go down to Florida for a certain reason. So on Fox News, they had a sit-down interview with Erica Kirk. And the sit-down interview happened, Jesse Waters. And was asked a question about the apology, and there's something I didn't realize this. So Sinclair Broadcasting was one of the major television operators that decided to pull pull Jimmy Kimmel off their air because of the Charlie Kirk comments being insensitive. They wanted an apology. Well, I mean, they eventually came back on the air, and they were asked about that. At least Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica Kirk, was asked about that. And if we can play clip number 6, this is kind of interesting.
Jimmy Kimmel lied about your husband's murder and didn't really apologize. What would you say to Jimmy Kimmel?
Same thing I told Sinclair. They asked, I haven't really told anybody this, so they asked, do you want Jimmy to give you an apology? Do you want to be on a show? How can we make it right? Through our team, I responded. I said, tell them thank you. We received their note. This is not our issue, not our mess. If you want to say I'm sorry to someone who's grieving, go right ahead. But if that's not in your heart, don't do it. I don't want it. I don't need it.
Ooh. Pretty good answer, I would say. But first, okay, a few thoughts that come to mind. Was Sinclair powerful enough to force a guest onto a show on which they carry on their network? Do you think if they would have said, the only way we'll bring you back on the air is if you bring Erica Kirk on your show, do you think Jimmy Kimmel's people would have gone for that? I don't know. It makes me wonder in a way, because sometimes you think, okay, are they overplaying their hand? Well, they have some, I forgot what it was. It was like 15 to 20 television markets in the top 100. That's a lot. I mean, and then when you couple that with the other networks that were also dropping the show, I mean, you're talking like 30, 40 stations in the top 50 or top 120, was it? So there's a lot that were being dropped. So maybe they would have done something like that. I guess if you're Jimmy Kimmel, you'd have looked at it and said, this could be a good moment on television. Or you could just completely enrage the audience even more if you screw up an interview like that. But I also think that it's a good attitude. Erica Kirk, she didn't take this, I'm in control and I know it and I'm going to boss you around mentality, which is good. I think some people would have looked at that and say, you know, I have the upper hand. I can dictate what happens to you next. So you better, you know, treat me like a queen or you're going to be in big trouble. I'm glad she didn't play it that way. She basically said, hey, this is outside of me. Leave me out of it. I don't want anything to do with him. If he believes he made a mistake and did something in poor taste, then you can do what the decent human being thing would be, which is just say, all right, you know, I didn't mean it for that. I'm sorry, and move on. And I kind of think that's what Jimmy Kimmel mostly did. I think that should be fine. And it looks like Erica Kirk is fine with it too. Now she's going to have to come back stronger and lead that organization to new heights. I think that's probably what she is mostly concentrating on at this time. We have Scott on the spot coming up after the break. 97.1 FM Talk.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
When my daughter needed a very large oak tree removed from the front of her house, she, before talking to me, flagged down somebody who was driving by with a magnetic sign on the side of their car and asked them about taking that tree down. And they just looked at her because they didn't have the experience or the equipment to take down a tree that large. They're just driving around trying to get the cheapest jobs they can. Hanson's Tree Service has been around for years. I said, this is what you need to do. You need to call my friend Chad Hansen, and he will get a crew over there that can get that tree down. And they did. They brought in a crane. They had to cut it down from the top. And when they were done and cleaned up, you could barely tell there was ever a tree there, obviously, except for the bare spot on the ground. So whatever your tree needs, go to Hansen's Tree. I highly recommend them. Great supporters of this radio show. Right now, they're offering a 10% winter discount through the end of this month. So get your appointment set now, 636-379-1830 or hansenstree.com.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Payroll processing company ADP today releases its national employment numbers for October. Economists believe private employers created 30,000 new jobs last month. For September, it reported a decline of 32,000 jobs. UBS financial advisor Ryan Lynch says private reports on the economy are taking on more significance because of the government shutdown.
I think that private data is giving us enough of a picture where we still think that we're in really good shape. You know, on the job front, I think it's accommodated for more rate cuts, which should be positive for the stock market.
Also today, we'll find out how the service sector of the economy is holding up. Economists believe the ISM report will show improvement in October from September. It's another busy day for earnings with McDonald's reporting, Robinhood Markets, and Toyota. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda. Invested in you.
Feel that chill in the air? Now's the perfect time to layer up. The outerwear shop is now open at Untuck It with sharp new jackets and vests made for this season and beyond. You'll find all the right layers to keep you warm and looking sharp, including cozy sweaters, sweatshirts, and more. But hurry, fall weather won't wait, and neither should you. So don't miss the outerwear shop, open now at untuckit.com in more than 80 stores worldwide. Untuck It, shirts designed to be worn, untucked.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, good news in traffic. There is now a lane open. Northbound 55 at 67. The highway has been reopened, but only one lane is getting by. But if you are traveling in that area, there's still a jam behind it. It's taking a while for that to completely thin out. Now, the other delays we have are westbound 70 west of Wentzville. This is all due to road work as you head toward David Hochul Parkway. And eastbound 70, for the same reason, it's just road work, is slowing at Wright City. And on the Illinois side, we've got that road work westbound 55-64 between 70 and the Poplar. And right now there's already a jam behind it that goes back to Exchange. Boy, pretty slow for this hour. The rest of the area looks fine. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Tony La Russa here. Men, are you running out of stamina rounding third base? If so, call my friends at Victory Men's Health in O'Fallon, Illinois. Scoring at home is important, just as important as crossing the plate with the winning run. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
From Belleville to Bridgeton, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. Not Kim on a whim, but Scott on the spot.
Well, I'm thinking this morning about what yesterday's results in the elections around the country mean for the midterms next year. Lots of interesting results, honestly, and it kind of might signal what the Democratic Party is going to try to do in the midterms to regain some power in Congress. First of all, in California, they did approve a ballot measure that allows the state to redraw congressional districts to favor Democrats. So that's one. We have the socialists winning in New York City. And then you also had some more centrist candidates or Democrats winning gubernatorial races in New Jersey and Virginia. So I think it still remains to be seen what the Democratic Party's identity will be next year and in 2028. Will they stick with populist progressive ideas, or are they going to shift more to the middle and give themselves a better chance to defeat extremist candidates from the Republican Party? Ryan, what say you?
I would think that they are not going. Well, it's interesting because I live in Michigan, where the Democratic mayor of Detroit said, I'm going to run for governor in this next election. The governor here is Whitmer. She is term limited, and I'm going to run as an independent. And what you found is a lot of these candidates, that seems to be the trend. Let's just kind of run as an independent. I don't know how much steam that'll get. I think that if you're like a political insider and a Democrat, you like these sort of things because you're kind of tired at what your party's been offering. But I don't know how much mainstream appeal that will have. You may have some recognition based on your name, but it might not be enough to carry you to win on a ballot. It's enough to split votes for your party to lose. So I think when you're a Democrat and you're running as an independent and you have a Democrat also on the ballot for a high profile position, if that D and I are both Democrats, then the Republican's going to win. I think that's going to happen as Democrats test the waters of, we don't want to go so far left that we're Mamdani, so we're going to have to try this I thing. And they're going to end up by default splitting the vote for Republicans who can come in and just by default win that way. I think that you're going to see more of those instances happening.
Well, Cuomo in New York tried to run as an independent. He did run as an independent, and that didn't work out. So there's an example. But in that case, the Democrat did end up winning, and he's obviously a socialist, and he's definitely pushing the boundaries of what people see as valid ideas in 2025 America, when you have a history of socialism not working around the world and putting it in place here in New York City, of all places. I think it's going to be fascinating to see the pushback. I have a feeling that there will be some positive gains. It's like, when a coach gets replaced in the NFL or a manager in baseball, there's the there's a term for it. I can't remember, but the interim coach, the interim manager usually wins a couple of games right off the bat. they get a little boost. I think that might be what happens here. There's going to be positive things going on, and people are saying, see, this was a good idea to vote this guy in office. And then over time, the truth will set in. The reality will set in that these policies don't work. And I think in the end, there's going to be a reckoning when it comes to having a socialist as a mayor in New York City.
Here's what I also find when it comes to socialism, they'll turn on their own very quickly. So if they feel like the Mamdani overpromised what would happen and their life doesn't get better, hey, you're saying I don't get free groceries? I thought you said I would get free groceries. What do you mean? I thought my rent would go down. Why is my rent going up? Mamdani lied to me. They'll turn on him real quickly because he made a lot of claims that socialism would make your life better. If their life don't feel better, it's the kind of the same situation a lot of Republicans are in right now. When you look at the polling of Donald Trump, he said, when I come into office, things are going to get better immediately. It's a hard ship to turn around quickly when you're talking something like the United States of America. And it's why Donald Trump is polling so low, even though a lot of these economic indicators, which is a bulk of what people wanted him for, are positive. There's still things that hurt on the ground. You know, prices are still high. Everything still costs too much. This inflation's baked into the cake. It makes a lot of people angry because they thought things would be getting better quicker. Now, the Republicans may be a little bit more forgiving of a Donald Trump. Socialists will not be as forgiving, and they will turn on him quickly if things don't turn the way they thought they would turn.
In Virginia, a former CIA operative won the gubernatorial race, Spanberger. She defeated a black woman who's a Republican who did not get an endorsement from President Trump.
Right.
Interesting development there. And I don't know what that means or says about candidates running in the midterms next year and how valuable and fragile an endorsement from the president will be and how impactful it will be on the election results. But she didn't get one and she lost.
It goes to show you, too, when you look at the county by county breakdown, when you're just looking at the colors of the county, blue or red, there's a lot of red there, but not all the votes are where the blues are, pretty much.
Yeah, it's a
And
purple
it goes
state.
To show you.
Virginia's a purple
Yeah.
state for sure. There aren't too many of those, but it's definitely one of them.
Purple states.
Yeah.
I guess Michigan in some way, Pennsylvania, they say purple state, like these swing states that all went for Trump this last time around. There's a lot of purple in them. Virginia doesn't surprise me too much just for its proximity to Washington, D.C. You think about Virginia, you always thought of it as kind of a more Republican stronghold, but not really. I mean, it's going Democrat a lot over the last decade.
And I think there is a cycle that happens in this country. It goes back decades of when you have a president who's very polarizing. Even if they're not polarizing, even if they're just representing a centrist view of their party, we have pushback from the other side. They go to the polls. They elect candidates who are on their team, and we switch sides a little bit. So, I mean, it won't be surprising if Congress ends up flipping next year because that's what happens historically.
Yeah, I mean, yes, that's what happens historically. I think the indication that you saw here is if they continue to pick up House seats like they did this time around, it could be tough for Republicans. So what do you think that means now for the government shutdown? Do you think they're looking at this as an indicator and they're saying, well, now we can't give up because if we do, we'll never get a chance like this again? Do you think this is just, you think Republicans are going to look at this and say, okay, what's the point in negotiating? Because if we don't get what we need here, there's no chance of us in the future.
That's a good question. I don't know the answer. I just know that the fatigue is real and setting in hard among the American people about this government shutdown, particularly with Thanksgiving coming up and air traffic controllers hinting that they're going to walk out if this keeps up. And that means no flying, according to the transportation secretary. This has got to, it's push comes to shove coming here. It can't keep going on. It's untenable. Today is the record 36 days. It just is untenable. It will not, it cannot keep going on.
So let's say you were in that position like the air traffic controllers, and let's say the same position you're in right now. And they said, okay, we got to withhold paychecks. We can't afford to pay them out right now. We just don't have the money. Keep working. You'll get paid when the money comes back. Would you take sick days or would you keep going without pay?
Oof. I don't know. I can't put myself in that situation right now. I don't know.
That would be tough.
I mean,
air
but
traffic control, that's an important
it's a tough job. Yes, it's a critical job. It's very difficult. And we've had some airline incidents recently. Yeah. And we have a history of air traffic controllers having a vital role in not only what they do on a daily basis, but I believe they were at the crux of the last government shutdown. So it's one of those things where, public safety is the most important thing.
Yeah. Was the air traffic control situation brought up with the UPS cargo plane in Louisville? I don't think I've seen that angle to it. I don't think it was related.
I don't believe so either.
What a fireball. Have you seen the video of that?
Yeah. Gosh, it's terrible.
Boy. Absolutely terrible. I mean, they basically had a lockdown order. It was a 5-mile radius around that spot, the fire and everything else. And, people lost their lives with it. And when you see an airport and you see these jetliners and you see fire, it's a scary thing because you think, well, okay, I know it was a cargo and people lost their lives, but if you compare it to, let's say, 150, 200 people inside of a plane that might have went down, I mean, it's just all terrible, all the scenarios, until you find out what happened. It's all bad.
Yeah, well, I have a friend who was talking last night about, flying for Thanksgiving and getting very nervous about it. People are nervous right now about flying due to the government shutdown and the air traffic controllers. And also, you have to think about Boeing's problems and the recent incidents we've had with planes malfunctioning, things happening on the runways. So, I mean, it is a little bit scary. I mean, the odds are clearly in your favor.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly in your favor. I just saw a car accident yesterday. Those happen way, way more often than plane crashes, obviously. But still, it's scary to get in a tube that's 30,000 feet in the air.
Yep. Well, that is Scott on the spot. The Marc Cox Morning Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Let's see. On the roads this morning, we've had several issues. One of which was the closure of northbound 55 at 67 in the construction zone due to an accident. Well, it has been reopened, but only one lane is getting by, and we really have a jam behind it. Now, we also have construction going on. Illinois drivers all too aware of this, but westbound 5570 is jammed from Exchange to the Poplar Street Bridge, all due to road work in the left lane. I just put that on X at Susan6768 if you'd like to see it. Those are the two issues at this hour. Other than those two, we are fine, and it's quiet out there. But those are some serious delays. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hey, it's Marc Cox. Let's support our first responders. Inter Responder Rescue's ATF raffle. Prizes include top shelf bourbon, a lit cigar lounge VIP night, and a CZ P10 pistol from the range. Text responder to 33100 to enter today.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
Setting goals for your retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
For tips on building a better nest egg, listen to the All Financial Hour with Steve All, Saturday mornings at 6, here on 97.1 FM Talk.
You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
We, without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think about, that you don't want to have to worry about. They're always doing that in the background for you.
Don't wait for your next IT crisis. If your business depends on technology, you need a partner that's got your back. Contact ThrottleNet.com to get a free IT evaluation and see how we can support your IT everything.
One of the biggest gifts you can give your family is peace of mind. That's why I trust and recommend Civia Law. They've helped so many families, including mine, right here in our community with estate planning, wills, trusts, powers of attorney, and elder law issues. I've seen how stressful it can be when a loved one passes without a plan. Families are left confused, sometimes tied up in probate court, and it can cost so much in time and money. But with Civia Law, you don't have to worry about that. They'll walk you through everything and even deliver your completed documents in just 2 weeks from your first appointment. And here's something special just for you. Mention the Annie Fry Show, and the first 10 listeners right now will get a free strategy session. That's a $300 value. 833-995-WILL. Just be sure to mention the Annie Fry Show when you call. Civia Law has 7 convenient locations across Illinois and Missouri, including in Edwardsville, Swansea, and Creve Coeur. Secure your legacy and protect the people you love. Call 833-995-WILL. That's 833-995-WILL, or visit civialaw.com.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Looking at the latest numbers here, if you're wondering how they played out, let me just do a refresh. So for Mamdani, it looks like he took about 50.4% of the vote. Cuomo took 41.6%. Curtis Sliwa took 7.1%. So if you were to add the two, like let's say Sliwa wasn't in this, Eric Adams, it's 6,000 votes. So you took Sliwa and added it onto Cuomo, still wouldn't be enough to take Mamdani. I know there's only 91% in. So you still have about 9% of the vote. Even if it was heavy on Cuomo and Sliwa didn't exist, it would still be a super tight race. But kind of goes to show you what happens when you have a split vote. And Cuomo wasn't a great candidate. I don't think people were too enthused about him, but kind of what Donald Trump said, when you have the difference between a Marxist and a Democrat, you'll pick the Democrat. And over in New Jersey, that one wasn't close. And over in Virginia, that one wasn't close. Prop 50 in California, that wasn't close. 63.8% with 71% of the vote in there. And that is a resounding redistricting. We're done. We're just going to gerrymander our little heart's desire. And I think it's kind of interesting that in California, we just assumed it was all blue anyway, but there are some red districts, but they're going to go full blown blue. I mean, it's just how it's going to go. It's kind of interesting because Republican stance in some of these states were, 40% vote Republican in these areas, but there's zero representation. So what's up with that? Now in California, they're saying, okay, it doesn't matter. It's just going to go blue anyway, which I think places like Texas are going to say, okay, well, I guess we're okay then. We'll just go all red. And we're just going to play that game. The whole state is going to redistrict, kind of like Missouri, looking at redistricting lines. They're just going to readjust now. And California was kind of a lost hope to begin with, but they said, we can be even more lost. Just show us, give us a chance. And they did. What also surprises me is that when you have like a midterm, quarter term type of deal, and there's not as many people voting, it's not like a regular election where you get, 70 million plus voting for a candidate. In this, you're talking about, in New York City, largest city, 1 million people vote for Mamdani. Or in certain communities, if you went to, small elections and you show up at the end of the night and you're like the 100th person that was there and they were voting for like all day. Okay, how long can it really take to count all of those votes? You think you'd be able to get those in pretty quickly, even if you hand counted them, if you're talking about polling places with 100 votes, but still they're trying to get these in. Mamdani, I want to play this clip again. This is clip number 12 with Mamdani, and this is after he declared victory. He was speaking to the people there. Play clip number 12.
Together, we will usher in a generation of change. And if we embrace this brave new course, rather than fleeing from it, we can respond to oligarchy and authoritarianism with the strength it fears, not the appeasement it craves. After all, if anyone can show a nation betrayed by Donald Trump how to defeat him, it is the city that gave rise to him. And if there is any way to terrify a despot, it is by dismantling the very conditions that allowed him to accumulate power. This is not only how we stop Trump, it's how we stop the next one. So, Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up.
Okay. So, Ethan, are you a fan of The Office? Did you ever watch that show when it was on?
Yep, love The Office.
Like everyone else. Does that remind you when Dwight was talking at the paper convention? And they slip like a Stalin speech in or something along those lines?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Does it remind you of that? What are the odds that Mamdani took a speech and put it into ChatGPT and said, "Make this Marxist, please"? They rewrote the speech for him to make it as Marxist as possible. Is there a chance that happened?
There's always a chance. Everybody's using ChatGPT now.
Yeah. Hey, make this as socialist as possible. And don't hold back. Go ahead. Use your imagination, ChatGPT. I would like to see his ChatGPT conversations. Like, what if Mamdani's ChatGPT conversations were leaked? Would you like to see those too? If it was on a let's say now that he's going to be an elected official, I wonder if that's something you can actually request. Politicians' AI conversations while they're on their government phone. Would that be part of the public domain? Well, that was the big speech there. Donald Trump, turn it up, or turn the volume up, or whatever it was. Okay. Well, if you want to start a war with Donald Trump, I guess that's what you're trying to do. In New York, I would be very worried if I were you. This is the Marc Cox Morning Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
Think about this. Credit card payments are at an all-time high right now. That means people are carrying huge balances. And if this describes you, you don't have to do that anymore. You really don't. If you're a homeowner specifically, Golden Oak Lending is standing by to help you right now. 314-567-GOLD. They can help you take some of the money, some of the equity out of your home, pay off those high-interest credit card bills, and then keep that money in your pocket each month, and then refinance at a low, great rate of 4.5%. That is 4.5% to refinance, 4.5% if you're looking for a new mortgage for a home you want to buy. And then generally you get a payment break, right? You go like 2 months without a payment when you refinance. Get a hold of them today. That is a 5.442 APR FHA 15-year loan, 20% equity with qualified credit. Additional terms apply. Their MLS number is 114937. Go to goldenoaklending.com.
At Ruler Foods, we make it easy to shop smart and spend less every single day. This week, you can save at Ruler Foods on red or white seedless grapes, just $1.49 a pound. Kroger frozen turkey, 10 to 20 pounds, 99 cents a pound with a limit of 4. You can also save on Kroger 12-count eggs. Buy 2, get 1 free, a limit of 9. And save on avocado, 69 cents each for that delicious guacamole or avocado toast. Shop smart, spend less, and save more at Ruler Foods, rulerfoods.com. Annie Fry here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They are the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they're very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
At Donors Choose, we want students and teachers to have the tools they need for a great education. And now, more than ever, they need your support. Learn more at donorschoose.org.
Donors Choose. Support a classroom.
Build a future. KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
The candidates claim victory. I'm Kathleen Maloney, Fox News. New York City Mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani pledging to stand up to the president.
If anyone can show a nation betrayed by Donald Trump how to defeat him, it is the city that gave rise to him.
Fox's CB Cotton has more on New York City's mayoral race.
His closest competitor in the polls, former Governor Andrew Cuomo, called his own run, quote, the right fight to wage. Cuomo, who had President Trump's last-minute endorsement, narrowed the gap in the final days of campaigning, but it was not enough. Republican candidate Curtis Sliwa remained a distant third for most of the race. Last night when he conceded, he said if socialism is implemented, quote, we will become the mayor-elect and his supporters' worst enemy.
Mamdani's agenda includes free public transportation and a rent freeze. A Democrat takes back Virginia.
Former Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger said she knows she'll have a hard job as Virginia's governor and showed her gratitude to the voters.
Thank you for showing up in every corner of Virginia. Thank you for diving deep on policy.
The woman she defeated, Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears, also expressed gratitude for the opportunity Virginians gave her 4 years ago.
You believed in me. You who voted for me and who worked so hard to make our dream for Virginia come true.
Spanberger will work with slim Democratic majorities in her state's legislature, which she hopes will grow in next year's midterms. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Another Democrat wins in New Jersey, where Mikey Sherrill claims victory in the governor's race.
This was a tough fight, and this is a tough state. But I know you, New Jersey, and I love you.
Her opponent, Jack Ciattarelli, had the backing of President Trump. America is listening to Fox News.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Good morning. It's 6:03 at 97.1 FM Talk. I'm Scott Jagow. Enjoy the weather. Today is going to be beautiful. 70 degrees, sunny skies, but a cold front is coming over the weekend. Dave Murray has that coming up. Right now, it's 55. Voters in the St. Louis region said yes on Election Day. Bell Fountain Neighbors residents approved an extra sales tax on marijuana. Clayton voters changed the name of the Board of Aldermen to City Council and clarified term limits. Voters in Creve Coeur, Ladue, and Veneta Park approved local tax proposals, and Melville and Rockwood school districts gave the thumbs up to school levies. St. Louis City Hall is putting a plan in motion to raise salaries. It's designed to help fill long, empty positions. A new report found the city's starting salaries lag significantly behind neighboring local governments. Kirkwood residents are going to see their electric bills go up. Kirkwood's last electric rate hike was 2016. But since the city's electric department overspent its budget, residents will see an increase that will recoup those losses. In sports, the Blues are in the nation's capital tonight, taking on the Capitals after snapping a 7-game losing streak. In their way, only the all-time leading goal scorer in NHL history. After passing Wayne Gretzky last year, Alexander Ovechkin is still stuck on 899 career goals. No rest for the Blues. They'll be in Buffalo tomorrow night. Mizzou, big game this weekend, facing one of the top 3 teams in the country, Texas A&M in Columbia. Illinois is off. Will host Maryland a week from Saturday. And St. Louis's pickleball franchise, professional pickleball franchise, the St. Louis Shock, won the first ever Major League Pickleball Cup over the weekend. The 3-day event was held at Brookhaven Country Club in suburban Dallas. It is 6:05, 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Awesome. I didn't know we had a pickleball team. That's awesome. All right. Now, on the roads this morning, we've got several issues. There is road work, and there was an earlier accident with lanes blocked on northbound 55 at 67, and there is a serious jam behind that. The latest accident is westbound 70. It's just past Mid-Rivers Mall Drive. The left lanes are blocked, and they're also partially blocking the on-ramp to westbound 70. But you can still use that ramp. Traffic is stacking up quickly behind it. I just posted this on X at Susan6768. Now, if you are traveling, we have some traffic slowed down by road work on 70. So eastbound 70 east of Warrenton and westbound 70 west of Wright City. There are some slow pockets. Other than that, we're good. This report brought to you by the Diamond Shop. They are awesome. The Diamond Shop, making St. Louis sparkle for over 100 years. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Sunny skies on this Wednesday, but we do have a cold front coming by. It will turn windy as winds swing from the south to the north this afternoon. 73 for the high, but expect temperatures to be dropping slowly through the 60s during the afternoon. Clear skies and cold tonight, full moon, 41. On Thursday, sunny and 65. Friday, partly sunny, maybe a spot shower, 71. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
You can hear the Marc Cox Show anytime, anywhere on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY. Download it now to listen to 97.1 FM Talk. It is 6:07.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Welcome back. I'm Ryan Recker, filling in for Marc Cox. You can find me online at Ryan Recker. You know, the same thing Sue brought up is the same thing I want to bring up. There's pickleball champions in St. Louis. That's awesome.
What a shock. No, I'm sorry. That's the name of the team.
Yes, I understand.
Hey, pickleball is all the rage. I mean, I've never played it, but it looks fun. I've seen it quite a bit. All over town, there's a big pickle. Do you know what padel is? Padel is a similar game that was invented in South America. So there's in Olivet, there's this place called something pickleball and padel. Padel has glass walls though.
Oh,
so it's a little bit racquetball meets pickleball. Anyway, that's another one of those games that is kind of catching on. Especially I see a lot of older people doing it. It's good for exercise. I think it's great.
Yep, it's better than a Wii controller. Back in the day, they give the old people the Wii controller for the same similar movements. This actually gets you out on the courts, get you moving. That's good. So the champions reside in St. Louis. I wonder what it would take to be a champion pickleball player. Makes me want to look up their games on YouTube or something, or to be matchups. Did you see the one story about the house party that got out of control in St. Charles County? So the kid, teenager, had some friends over Sunday night for the football game, just kind of watch some football. And then the 16-year-old said they invited some friends and they invited some friends. And then the other high school got involved and they invited friends. And there's like over 100 people at this house. And the mom's like, this is not what I signed up for. And I think there are some kids that ended up getting hurt as it continued to spread. Crazy things happen when you have teenagers. There was an influx of guests that led to confusion and violence. According to witnesses, a 17-year-old was struck in the head with a flying chair, had 7 stitches to the head, and a golf ball-sized lump, is what they said. That's what happens when you get that many teenagers together, isn't it? Flying chairs, and someone's going to get hurt. It's almost a guarantee. Unsanctioned 100 teenagers in one spot.
I guess so. I mean, I come from the day when when parents went out of town, there'd be a party at somebody's house. I don't recall chairs being thrown or anything like that.
Well, you probably blacked out, didn't realize it.
Maybe, yeah. There was, there
some of
was
it.
some alcohol probably involved, but
Yeah, and all the craziness that goes in. They said there are more like 100 people at the back door. We were trying to hold it shut. There were more people trying to get in. Channel 5 was waiting to hear back from O'Fallon Police on the incident. A flash mob is what they call it. That's what you risk your information getting out on the internet, a flash mob showing up. You think that could be the reversal of, what's that thing where the swatting? It's where, like, let's say someone tries to fake a emergency alert or an incident at a residence, police show up, and it's actually you faked it to show up at someone else's home. Yeah, swatting.
Man.
Can the reversal happen, like where you make it sound like there's a, hey, parents aren't home, show up for this party? Like, could the opposite of swatting happen? Like, this could be the next trend teenagers try to force upon their friends?
God, I hope not. My goodness, that's terrible. I
All of it's
swatting
terrible.
is very dangerous. That is,
Oh, yeah.
you are
I mean,
putting
that's why
people's
they're
lives at risk.
I mean, that's why they're looking at some serious legal consequences. I think pretty much every area is looking at upping the ante when it comes to consequences if you're the one that swatted someone else. But, imagine all these people that uninvited, they just keep inviting people over to a new house. Is there any liability on their end if they bring large groups of people unwelcome to private property?
That's a good question. Actually, I'd be curious what the law says about that in terms of people coming over uninvited. If it's your kids and they invite everybody over, like Weird Science or one of those 80s movies. What was the other one? What was the other one?
They invite people over, house party or
16 Candles. 16 Candles.
16 Candles.
I mean, if it's the kids doing it, inviting people over, that's one thing. But if people are just showing up uninvited, and how are you going to stop them if they're a mob of 100 people?
Or like that one DiGiorno commercial where the kid wasn't invited. He was like the one only person that wasn't allowed. So he shows up with a DiGiorno frozen pizza in hand, like he's the delivery man, and he gets into the party that way. Just like that DiGiorno commercial. It's 16 Candles, one and the same.
Yeah, that trick works every time.
Let's go to the short list.
The Marc Cox Short List, presented by Rhino Shield.
Jimmy Kimmel lied about your husband's murder and didn't really apologize. What would you say to Jimmy Kimmel?
If you want to say I'm sorry to someone who's grieving, go right ahead. But if that's not in your heart, don't do it. I don't want it. I don't need it.
I don't want it. Don't need it. That's Erica Kirk talking to Jesse Waters about the Jimmy Kimmel apology. And Sinclair Broadcasting offered, hey, if you want us to go in even harder on Jimmy Kimmel, let us know. We'll try to make it right for you. I guess good for Sinclair in some way, and even better for Erica Kirk in the way she handled it.
Carlicia Grice is one of more than 1.4 million North Carolinians who rely on SNAP benefits.
Even that's not enough. And we're using cash to pay for food throughout the month, even going to pantries and just trying to make the ends meet because it's just not meeting.
All right, so this was in Charlotte, a news report. So this woman is living in Section 8, meaning government-funded housing, and she receives $1,000 a month for food stamps. $1,000 and Section 8, meaning highly subsidized when it comes to her living. And she said, hey, that ain't enough for us. And I kept thinking to myself, my goodness, what is enough? Of $1,000, how much food are you eating? $1,000 a month? What?
It's well past time Democrats do what they did 13 times under Joe Biden and pass the clean funding bill extension. All we need are 5 Democrat senators to put country over party and vote to end this reckless shutdown.
Throwing this number 5 around, Scott, it sounds like when you're doing a radiothon, we just need 5 more donors, only 5, and we'll be able to save the country. It sounds like a radiothon.
Democrats are the ones that are not voting to fund the government. Now, I understand why they're doing so. They're doing so because of health care, and they want to fight, and they want Republicans to negotiate, et cetera, et cetera. They have convinced voters, Democratic voters and independent voters, that it's the Republicans' fault. And just on the numbers, that might not be actually accurate.
Fascinating. CNN's Jake Tapper laid out the simplest argument of why this is the Democrats' shutdown. And his argument is simply, what is it? We're up to 14 clean resolutions the Republicans have passed to open the government back up. And it's the Democrats who are voting to keep it shut down. He said it's as simple as that. Republicans have voted to open it. Republicans have been the ones to vote for opening it. But the Democrats are the ones that are not. And he says, and I can understand their rationale, but the Democrats are doing the best spin job I have ever seen when it comes to trying to convince its base that it is the Republicans' fault. That was Jake Tapper, of all people. CNN probably laid out the best argument that I think the Republicans need to run with at this point. I only need 5 more Democratic senators stuff, like we're running a radiothon. That's not going to cut it in the long term. It's just not going to work. Scott, you've probably been part of radiothons in the past, and especially when you worked with NPR stations, public broadcasting stations. You did a lot of drives, right?
Many hours.
What would like the top tier donors, would there be like a name for it? You're like the friends of the station donorship level, or, they always have like tiers.
Yeah.
And we only need 5 more friends of the station, just 5. If you could find it in your heart to get this tote bag, we'll reward you. 5 is all we need. And that's
everybody
exactly
always uses the tote bag thing. Tote bags and coffee mugs. Yeah, we gave away a few of those, but there were a lot better things than that you could get. But I don't remember. I can't think of the name. There were different ones, but yeah, I get the concept. Yeah, you're in a special category because you donate a certain amount. It makes you feel important.
We just need 5 more, please.
Oh yeah, believe me, I had that thing down.
Did you? Oh, I was pretty good at those too when it came to the radio.
Oh, I was very good at it, and I did these skits. I would do skits that were funny, or I thought they were funny anyway. People seemed to think they were funny. I did one with The Godfather. I had another one where I imitated the song Alice's Restaurant. Do you know that song?
Yeah, of course.
And so, I mean, I would just to try to make it fun to listen to, because nobody wants to hear you beg for money. No one wants that.
Yeah.
So we always tried to make it, and the master of this was Ira Glass from This American Life. He was so good. He would do all these little vignettes that were really entertaining to listen to, and it helped. That's how he got it.
This quick story on Alice's Restaurant. Maybe I know we got to go. Ethan's like, wrap it up. I got just a quick stupid Alice's Restaurant story for you after the break.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, by the way, we haven't given away those AC/DC tickets. We're going to give those away at some point this morning. AC/DC coming to the Dome. It's going to be a fantastic show. It's next year. It's going to sell out. But get your tickets when we give them to you for free at some time this morning. Don't miss it on the Marc Cox Morning Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning. I'll tell you what, it's been an active traffic morning already out there. Crews are still on the scene of this accident westbound 70, a little bit past Mid-Rivers Mall Drive. And they've got the left lanes blocked and the bottom of the on-ramp to westbound 70 partially blocked. You can still use that ramp. Now, even though this is westbound, we still have a jam behind it. So if you're traveling in that area, eastbound, all lanes are open. Westbound, there's some slow-moving traffic. And then the usual volume is kicking in. Northbound 55 at Bayless. And on the Illinois side, that hideous jam we've had all week. And by the way, this work continues through Friday. Westbound 5570 is jammed from Exchange to the Poplar. We've got the left lanes down for road work. That's causing a jam on westbound 70, which is now back to 25th Street. Even northbound Route 3 is jammed this morning, but that's at Monsanto Avenue due to a slow-moving train. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
If you have a leaky basement, it is not something anybody wants to have to deal with, but let's face it, it does happen. If you have a home, you live on top of what Matt Hayes at Home Shield Foundation Repairs has described to me as a swimming pool that's empty, like water is trying to find a way in. And over the years, concrete shifts. That's apparently pretty normal. Small cracks in the wall are normal. Not every crack you see is going to leak, but Matt knows the difference. Matt can eyeball these things and tell you immediately probably if it's a problem or if it's going to become a problem for you in the future. That's why I recommend you call him. He owns the company. He's the guy that comes over. He's a friend of mine. I know him. 314-227-9636. That's 314-227-9636. That gets you straight to Home Shield Foundation repairs. Tell them Mark sent you. Go online, look at their videos on their website of how they do what they do. It's homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
Now that we're getting older, we've been putting more thought into maintaining our health.
We knew the water we drink every day could be filled with contaminants. So
we called Leaf Home Water Solutions.
They came to our home and did a free water test and gave us the analysis right away.
We were shocked at what we saw.
They found heavy metals like iron and copper.
Our own tap water was putting our health at risk, but Leaf Home Water Solutions made it easy to get safer water from every tap and hose. A whole home solution.
They have more than 250 product combinations and designed a system that fits our needs and budget. The installation took less than a day.
With Leaf Home Water Solutions, our water is safer and healthier. When we drink, when we cook, when we shower, even when we garden.
We feel better about our health.
Thanks to Leaf Home Water Solutions.
Schedule your free home water test today at leafhome.com/free and save 15% on all home water treatment systems. That's leafhome.com/free for your free home water test and 15% off. leafhome.com/free.
From the gateway city to the front lines of freedom, this is the Marc Cox Morning Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
It's the Marc Cox Morning Show. I'm Ryan Recker. I like that you did a Alice's Restaurant style song. Did you play guitar, Scott, for this?
On that one, no, but I could do that. I do play guitar. But Alice's Restaurant in my family is a Thanksgiving tradition, as I know it is in others.
So many.
We listen to it every Thanksgiving, and I think it's awesome.
So I grew up here in Detroit. And, lived in St. Louis for a long time. But growing up in Detroit, the rock radio station would always play Alice's Restaurant on Thanksgiving morning. It's like 17-minute song or something like that, a 20-minute, whatever it is. So get the job, start doing the late night show in St. Louis. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to be cool. On the talk show, I'm going to play that 20-minute Alice's Restaurant because that's just what I'm used to. Thinking I'm the first person to think of that. And of course, Casey and all these other stations, they all play Alice's Restaurant.
Yeah.
And I'm just not aware of it. I thought it was just a Detroit thing. But no, it's like an everywhere thing. But it was still fun to play one night, take up a segment on talk radio to play Alice's Restaurant. That would be. You think we could pull that off here in 97.1?
Ethan is shaking his head no.
You can anything you want.
Yeah, it's just so
it's
great.
A good song. What was the artist that did that again? It was
Arlo Guthrie, Woody Guthrie's
Arlo
son.
Guthrie. Right. That's right.
He played here back in the early 70s at the festival in Edwardsville, which they had this amazing festival for 10 years here. It drew any major band and artist you can think of, like Bob Dylan and Joan Baez, the Eagles. The Who, and Arlo Guthrie played on stage. It was an outdoor festival, and it went on for like 10 years. And the name, of course, right now is escaping me, but the place where they had those concerts is still there, right off the SIUE campus I went there. I did a little story about it.
Oh, that's cool.
It's fascinating. There's a
fun
book
story.
about it. There's a book about this festival.
Oh, that's awesome.
It
there's
started
all
the
kinds
same
of-
summer as Woodstock, and it was like a jumping off point from Woodstock.
There's all kinds of different festivals that jumped off from Woodstock, right? They all wanted to try to capture that magic. And so many different areas did that. There was one over on the west side of the States. Great Wolfman Jack story that happened at that one. And basically, Wolfman Jack was the MC of this. They wanted to make this Woodstock-like. And a lady gave birth to her son and named her Wolfman. I mean, named the son middle name Wolfman. It's kind of cool, right?
Yeah,
It
Wolfman
happened at
Jack.
that concert. Wolfman Jack.
By the way,
Yeah,
that's the Mississippi River Festival. That's what it was called.
Cool. You ever seen Bob Dylan in concert?
I have never seen him. What? Nope, that's not true. I have seen him. I have seen him once. It
I
was
saw
at
him a
one of
couple
those
of times,
festivals.
yeah.
It was at a festival.
Yeah, that's what he does. He does festivals and things, which is very cool. One quick thing I saw, Politico put a survey out on Monday. And if you haven't seen this, this will be good to get your impression. The number of young people who believe political violence is justified. So they were polling American and young people. The circumstances in which political violence can be justified. What percentage of Americans do you believe said that there are instances where political violence is justified?
I'm afraid to guess. Just tell me.
The number is 24%.
Yeah, that's
Is
pretty
that about
high.
where you thought it would be? You think
I
it's
thought
high?
it was. I mean, that's a get that actually is where I was going to guess, but I was thinking it might be too high for. That's scary.
The survey was conducted end of October with about 2,000 adults. So our margin of error, they say about 2.2%, but still, we're looking at over 20%, over 1/5, maybe even 1/4 of young Americans believe there are circumstances where political violence is justified. That is a tough world to live in, to be a politician anymore. And it's kind of the world that police were living in for the last decade, where I would say the same amount of people, the 20 to 25%, believe that violence against police is justified because it's looked at as the government inflicting force upon you. And they use that as an opportunity to, I guess, not just fight back, but I mean, full out assault or assassinate police officers. That's the type of atmosphere that we are living in right now. You think maybe there's some correlation between that and the amount of people that have no interest in getting into public service? There could be a correlation there. It seems like it would be a fool's game to want to be president of the United States. Who would want to do that for them, their family, the people around them? I know there's an extreme amount of power around it, but look what happens even when you just run for president. It's like, how many people had their lives ruined just because of the nonsense and even the lies that were told about you and the people around you? Like they full blown try to ruin your life if you get high enough in the polling. It's terrible.
I mean, that's nothing new. I mean, that's been going on a long time.
No, that's true. I don't know if it's worse or not, but maybe it's just even in that sense. Joining us after the break, looking forward to catching up with Nicole Murray, rather, this morning with Gordon Deal. You can check her out every morning, and this morning they had some fun banter. But Nicole Murray is always good about breaking down what's going on with the markets, where it's going. We'll have a nice conversation with her coming up after the break. And don't forget, we do have AC/DC tickets to give away at some point this morning on 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, sometimes you need new flooring because you've had a flood, maybe from a washing machine or something like that. That happened to us in our kitchen. And not only did it ruin the flooring in the kitchen, which was hardwood and all warped, it went down to the basement. And as part of our insurance claim, we had to get new carpeting in the basement too. Michael's can handle all of that. Michael's Flooring Outlet, whatever the reason for you changing flooring, if it's just time for an update or you're having an emergency at your house, shop at Michael's. They've got a great selection. Plus, they've got that Revwood Select and Revwood Plus 10-year waterproof warranty, all-time, all-pet warranty. You can drop water on this and it doesn't matter. And that's what we ended up replacing our kitchen flooring with. You're going to love it. Ask them about it at Michael's. They've got lots of great Mohawk products up there. Old Town St. Peter's, Darden Prairie, and West St. Louis County. Shop online at igotfloor.com.
I hear from sellers all the time that they fear they have missed out on the selling market. They are so relieved to learn September, October, and November are strong selling months. With low inventory and hopefully lower interest rates, this fall will be a hot one for real estate. I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. You may have heard me say, why pay more than for years? Now it's why pay more than 2, saving you even more money. Call me 314-441-4444. And remember, why pay more than 2?
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri, Kansas, and Nevada.
How would you like a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter of St. Louis, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer? Give yourself peace of mind now by calling for a free estimate. 314-499-2020 or GeneratorSuperCenterofStLouis.com.
In a world of cookie-cutter health plans, the Pauly Agency is proud to represent coverage that's tailor-made to fit your needs. The Pauly Agency put the sure in insurance. For a free quote, call the Pauly Agency at 636-222-2149.
Good morning. It's 55 degrees at 6:30, 97.1 FM Talk. I'm Scott Jagow. On Election Day, Bell Fountain Neighbors residents approved an extra sales tax on marijuana. Voters in Creve Coeur, Ladue, and Veneta Park approved tax proposals. Melville School District passed a school levy, but Rockwood voters said no to theirs. Senator Josh Hawley urging Boeing to negotiate in good faith with the striking machinists. Hawley points out that last year, machinists in Seattle agreed to a beneficial contract after a 53-day strike. Missouri brought back a tax credit for films and TV shows, and it appears to be working. Soul on Fire and Ted Lasso have filmed in Missouri as part of the tax credit, and at least 3 more productions are still to come. The Blues are in Washington tonight. Alex Ovechkin will try to score his 900th career goal. It is 6:31, 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Several issues on the roads this morning, and accidents and construction causing delays northbound 55 at 67, and there is a jam behind it. There's also a jam as you head into the construction zone near Bayless. Moderate volume along northbound 270, 21 in pockets through Manchester. Crews have been dealing with an accident westbound 70 in the left lanes past Mid-Rivers Mall Drive. Still some slow-moving traffic there. Eastbound 64 slowing at Winghaven this morning. The other serious jam is on the Illinois side. Westbound 5570 jammed from Exchange to the Poplar Street Bridge, all due to road work in the left lanes that will last through Friday. And that has jammed up 64 westbound back past 25th Street. Yeah, it's a slow go through there. This report brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. For over 25 years, they have been St. Louis's trusted choice for transforming homes inside and out. They do windows, siding, kitchens, baths, outdoor spaces, quality craftsmanship, lifetime warranties. Visit lakesiderd.com to start your dream project today. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
The ACA Market Plan has just announced significant increases on their monthly premiums for 2026, with deductibles over $10,000. You can enroll with Greg Hammond's Freedom of Choice plans now. You don't have to wait. One of their plans lets you use any doctor, has 0 outpatient deductibles, and it's 30 to 60% lower than most Obamacare plans. Other options are full coverage PPOs with national networks, copays, and 100% annual preventative care. Also, there's no income disclosure required, so no potential tax penalties. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Greg, and they'll provide all available options. Call 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to greghammonds.com. That's greghammonds.com. He can custom design a plan managed and chosen by you, not the government.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Land Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Let Banner Construction show you what a difference James Hardy can make to your home. Banner's exterior design team will show you custom design options to transform your home into the neighborhood showplace. Banner is a preferred James Hardy and Pella Windows specialist. With winter just around the corner, now is the time to think about Pella Windows for energy efficiency and comfort. Call Banner Construction, 314-569-1050 to schedule your free in-home consultation, or the website bannerconstruction.com, and have a banner day.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
The Fed just cut interest rates again, and that means now is the time to refinance with Golden Oak Lending. Lower rates mean lower payments, and our customers are saving hundreds every month. Plus, you can make no payments until next year. And if your loan doesn't close, we'll pay for your appraisal. Call 314-567-GOLD today and start saving.
Golden Oak Landing, short my blue.
NMLS number 114937.
Built on backbone, not buzzwords. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hi, I'm Ryan Riker filling in for Mark Cox this morning. Good morning. I want to thank Lou for messaging me on Facebook saying, did you ever check out Brooks shoes? So Lou remembers when I was talking about my flat feet. They're also fat and hairy. I don't know if that matters, but I said I have a hard time finding shoes that fit right because I got these wide, fat, flat feet. And I said the best shoes that fit me are these diabetic shoes. And Lou wanted to get a follow-up. Did I find shoes that fit me? They said recommended Brooks shoes. So I might have to look that up. Thank you, Lou, for the message there. All right, let's take a look at what's going on with the markets. From This Morning with Gordon Deal, Nicole Murray. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are things looking?
All right, let's just dive right in. Futures are slightly lower. Tuesday, the Dow Industrials lost 251. The NASDAQ down 486. The S&P 500 down 80. Boeing's decision to use replacement workers to complete fighter jet projects in St. Louis has once again put the company at odds with members of the Senate. 3 months after union workers walked off the job on strike, 5 Democratic senators criticized the plan for replacement workers as potentially putting the nation's military at risk. Missouri Republican Senator Josh Hawley also sent a letter to Boeing CEO Kelly Ortberg, demanding the company negotiate in good faith. McDonald's has fallen short of Wall Street's earnings expectations, but the company's U.S. restaurants reported better than expected same-store sales growth. The fast food giant reported third quarter net income of nearly $2.3 billion. This is up from the nearly $2.2 billion a year earlier. Revenue rose 3% to just over $7 billion. Traffic safety regulators say Chrysler is recalling more than 320,000 Jeep plug-in hybrid vehicles because of a faulty battery that can fail and lead to a fire. The car maker said it is aware of 19 reports and 1 injury potentially related to the issue. Owners of the vehicles are being encouraged to park outside and away from structures for the time being. Pizza Hut could soon be up for sale. Yum Brands, Pizza Hut's parent company, said it is conducting a formal review of options for the brand, which has struggled to compete in a crowded pizza market. Pizza Hut has nearly 20,000 stores in more than 100 countries. Bloomberg News reports that Apple is preparing to launch a budget Mac in the first half of next year, entering the low-cost laptop market for the very first time. The device, aimed at luring customers away from Google's Chromebooks and entry-level Windows PCs, is made for students, businesses, and casual users who primarily browse the web, work on documents, or conduct light media editing. And finally, a new study found that women who shop for new clothes regularly experience improved mood and reduced stress levels. The study links retail therapy to dopamine release, the brain's chemical reward system.
You know, can I mention 2 Mac stories that you mentioned there? I'm not an inside trader type of guy, but I bet with that McDonald's promotion with the Monopoly, their next earnings are going to be through the roof. I don't know. It seems like every single person got excited and played that game this time around. I think it's going to go gangbusters for them
I don't know. I feel like everyone gets excited, but then you get busy with life and you just forget about it.
The McDonald's thing. Well,
Yeah.
part of the I found that people online, because the no purchase necessary side of it, if you had the McDonald's app, there were people that just downloaded the app in order to get the free pieces, and they would get like, oh, go get your free fries, and they would buy other things. That has to be one of the greatest fast food promotions in the history of fast food promotions.
You're probably right.
And the other thing is, my wife does. She's addicted to it. She's like, I got to go get my free spins. It's almost like online gambling for her. Oh, I got to get my spins. And she's like, every morning waking up and hoping she would get a good prize. And the best I think she got was like a Big Mac. But still, I mean, that's not bad.
It counts.
And the other Mac was Mac, because with the budget laptops that they're going to be putting out, kind of like the Chromebooks, I could see those being widely popular. But when we hear the word budget to Apple is not the same budget we have in our mind.
I mean, I would hope. So when I was doing research on this, they say that these low budget laptops are going to be well under $1,000.
That's not budget to me. $1,000. That's a lot.
I'm not saying it's not a lot, but it's better than some of the options on the market right now across the board.
I look at the Chromebooks. You can go to Best Buy or Walmart and pick these up for $100, $150. Even if they're $500, I know people would buy them. If they're closer to $1,000, you might as well just get Slim or whatever those other ones are that are a little bit probably going to be more powered. So people love the Mac. They like having that type of capability. They're reliable until the battery goes out a few years later. But people love them. Do you use Mac products, or are you more of a PC?
I have a Mac desktop, but then a Windows laptop. So I dip my feet in both sides of it.
Do Mac desktops still make that noise when it starts up, the doom, like the end of the Beatles song?
Yeah.
They do?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Do you ever have one of those colorful Macs that were like, there were giant tube TVs, but everything was in the TV?
Wait, no.
This would have been early 2000s. They came in different colors. They had a little handle on them, but it looked like a giant tube TV, and basically you just plugged your keyboard and mouse straight into the TV, and that was your computer. And those were super popular there for a while too.
Oh, wow. No, I don't think I ever had one of those.
Yeah. Look at Mac. Well, Nicole, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Scott, are you a McDonald's person? Do you play the Monopoly game?
No,
there?
I do not play that, but I do every once in a while. In fact, it's funny you mention it, because yesterday I was starving, and that's where I went. Their French fries are just too good. I can't. Those French fries call to me.
Yep. So the special election yesterday, you mentioned this in your news. Bellefontaine neighbors have the marijuana tax they approved, and there was only like 500 people that voted there, something like that. In Clayton, gender neutral language proposition passed. Creve Coeur, sales tax proposition 1 passed. In Ladue, the sales tax did not pass. That was a big no. In Melville School District, the Proposition A tax levy passed. The Rockwood School District, this is Proposition S. We had a guest on yesterday about that. That was a narrow one. It was a no, but it was close when it came to the property tax levy. In Festus, the sales tax Proposition P got a big no there as well. I'm an automatic no when it comes to any proposition that raises your taxes anymore. I'm done with voting yes to raise taxes. I'm over it. And I'm all about the language, and a lot of people are using this language from now on. They say we need to reprioritize. That is the term that I want to hear, reprioritize. And that's how you get me on board with not passing taxes. I don't care if they say our schools really need it. We got a giant leak, and every time it rains, that poor kid in the back gets wet. I don't care. I'm not voting for your tax increase. That's where I'm at right now with tax increases.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, I feel the same way about them. I'm fatigued.
And they could say our schools don't have air conditioning and the kids are sweating. They're going home drenched in their own sweat. I don't care. You are. I'm not voting yes on a tax. Figure it out. Reprioritize. We got 40 kids in a classroom and one teacher. I don't care. I'm not paying for a higher tax. Our roads are swallowing cars right now. If you have a small Kia, it's in. It's you hit a pothole, it is sunk. Not doing it. Don't care. reprioritize. I'm not giving you a bond. I'm not giving you a new tax. I'm tired of it already. We are overtaxed and we can't afford it. It doesn't matter what they throw at me at this point. Not going to happen. Everyone's got problems, man. City's got problems. Government's got problems. My house, man, we got problems that we need to deal with, and it's not going to help me by giving you more money. Sorry, ain't going to work. Coming up after the break, let's do another news. I always like those stories that kind of get pushed to the back burner but are fun if you are just waking up this morning and you're wondering what happened. In California, they passed their Proposition 50, the redistricting side. Mom Donnie is the new mayor of New York City. Democrats take Virginia and New Jersey. Democrats had a good night last night. You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We've got the jam on the Illinois side that we've had all week. It's due to road work westbound 55-64 between the 70 split and the Poplar. 64 is back past 25th Street, and 55-70 is back to Exchange. Northbound 55 jams approaching 67, where we not only have road work, but we had an accident earlier this morning that left us with a lane reduction. And northbound 55 slowing at Bayless in the construction zone. We've got volume on northbound 270 in pockets between 55 and Manchester. 70 eastbound, some moderate volume in the O'Fallon area. And 64 is pretty slow this morning, especially on either side of Winghaven. Then it opens up. Southbound 94 jams south of 64. And that's about it. We're still quiet through North County. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
I'm so excited. We are giving away AC/DC tickets. They're coming to town September 6th at the Dome. Be sure to listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show to win tickets to the show. We'll have a chance to win every day this week between 5 and 9 a.m. My friends at Rhino Shield would love to talk to you, because if you haven't looked at some of the work that they're doing, wow. My friend Darren at Rhino Shield sends me before and after pictures all the time. Latest one was of a house and a garage they did down at the Lake of the Ozarks that went from, it looked weathered to beautiful. And now they won't have to worry about it getting weathered again, because they've got a 25-year warranty to go along with the job. And that's great, because I'm a satisfied customer, and I think you will be a satisfied customer as well. This stuff goes on 8 to 10 times thicker than regular paint. It seals it up from the water. It protects it from the sun. It goes on churches and condos and businesses all over the place. And you're gonna thank me later. Trust me. Call Darren today. Still plenty of time to get your Rhino Shield on this year. 877-25-RHINO, or online anytime at 877-25rhino.com.
Hey guys, it's Mark Reardon. If you're struggling with low energy, performance issues, or weight gain, Game Day Men's Health has got you covered with testosterone therapy, ED treatments, and more in all of a relaxed man cave environment. At Game Day, you'll get a free testosterone test and consultation, all in just 1 hour. Game Day is the premier men's health clinic with locations in Chesterfield, O'Fallon, Missouri, and Glen Carbon, Illinois. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Get back in the game with Game Day Men's Health.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/radio for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you are facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Swapping out your tires? There's nothing like it. With eBay, you can find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
What's happening?
Go, you know the thing.
What the hell is going on?
In other news,
there's an Australian man who has the longest name in the world. This week, he did a video for Guinness Book of World Records. He has more than 2,000 middle names. His original name was Lawrence Watkins. Now it starts Lawrence, Alon, Alois, Aloysius, Allured, Alwyn, Alessandro. I'm not going to start. It took him over an hour to read it on this video. He says the process involved a lot of paperwork and several trips to court, but thankfully, Australia has passed new laws that will prevent other people from doing this dumb thing and wasting government's time. So at least in Australia, he's going to have that record forever. I don't know if other
What's
people...
the point? Why? What's
attention,
the point?
Attention, I mean, people want their 15 minutes of fame. He got his. He has the Guinness Book of World Records for the long. He was interested in setting a record, and this is the one he chose.
I think they should make him fill that out on all applications.
Yeah.
So he has to sit there for like
That
3
is a
days
good point.
writing that out just to.
Right.
Yeah, and then he ends up cramping his hand, and now he's on disability.
The narcissism. That's the narcissism there. Just unreal.
I still don't know what to make of this Tom Brady story about cloning his dog. So Tom Brady, perhaps the greatest quarterback of all time, now a broadcaster and partial owner of the Oakland Raiders, but he decided to contract with a company that is known for cloning, and he cloned his old pit bull back from the grave. So basically a clone of that dog he loved, and now he has it. And I keep thinking, why would you? I know money can make you do stupid things because you have the resources to do every impulse that sounds like a good idea. But with all the shelter dogs and animals that need homes, why would you go through all that trouble?
It's just
when there's so many other animals that need your love.
It's one more reason to hate Tom Brady. It's so easy to hate Tom Brady. I've hated him my whole life, and this is one more reason to hate him. You made the
Don't
great
hate Tom.
point. Oh, I do.
Don't hate him. Hate the idea of like rich people doing stupid things with their money. Like, come on now. You really did. You have to do this.
Yeah.
I'm really curious if that dog has the same like temperament and personality.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get the idea of you want to bring back the dog that you love so much, but I don't think that's possible. It's not the same dog. It's not going to be the exact same dog.
Nope.
And your point is the one that's most important. There are many dogs that need a home.
Yeah. The St. Louis shelters right now are just overflowing.
So
yeah. And breeds look pretty similar. I mean, it's like if you want a dog that looks similar, you can find one.
By the way, don't tell me I can't hate Tom Brady. Okay. The death of Robert Redford if you love true crime, the death of Robert Redford a couple of months ago has sparked authorities to revisit a murder case from 1983. It's a fascinating story. Back then, Sid Wells was the boyfriend of Robert's daughter, Shauna. He was fatally shot at his apartment. This is when Robert was filming The Natural, the baseball movie. The police figured out who did it. It was his roommate. His name is Thane Allen Smika. That was August 1st, 1983. He has never been found since then. 42 years now. He is on the FBI's most wanted list. He's considered armed and dangerous, but they've reopened the case by offering a reward. Who knows where this guy went, but he has not been seen since August 1st, 1983. That is nuts.
Wow.
But the death of Robert Redford kind of gave police the idea to revisit the case, offer this reward. So police authorities are saying, if you see this guy, do not engage him, but call 911.
He's like the hide and seek champion for 40 years.
I know that it's very hard. It's very hard, especially this day and age, to stay gone.
Well, in North Carolina, South Carolina, rather, North Charleston, there was a report of someone doing donuts in church parking lots this Sunday night. And then, just basically ripping things up in these church parking lots. So someone called police. They showed up. They found the tire marks. They're like, okay, what's up? Okay, reports of it down the road. So they find it again. They catch up with the man. Apparently, he was nude, had all kinds of beer bottles and cans inside of his car, and also possession of cocaine, the cocaine base, had a firearm on him as well. So doing nude donuts in a car in church parking lots. 36-year-old man was arrested.
Why are they
always
nude? Always.
Why?
Where was this?
That's a good question. North Carolina.
Oh.
South Carolina. Sorry, South Carolina.
Yeah, there is a difference, by the way. My family lives in North Carolina.
As far as I'm
People
concerned,
do
it's
those
all
things
Carolina.
in South Carolina. There's a big difference.
Oh, so that would surprise you. Oh, not North Carolina.
No. That's where I went to college too, so that doesn't happen. I thought you were going to say Florida, a Florida man. I mean,
that's
for sure.
always for real.
Unfortunate story here. An American teacher and his teenage son died after they were attacked by hornets while zip-lining during a vacation in Laos. Terrible tragedy. There were more than 100 stings on both of their bodies, and they did not make it. It made me think of a story. When I was a child, my sister slid down a little embankment in the mountains into a hornet's nest or a wasp nest. I can't remember. My dad, quick-thinking father, covered her body in mud and probably saved her life.
Wow.
Yep.
Interesting.
I don't know what propelled him to do that, but to this day, I think about that story. Unfortunately, these two didn't make it, and I'm sad to hear about that. But I think my dad saved my sister's life by covering her in mud.
I never would have thought of that, but that is an interesting tactic. That's how you get rid of the predator, too, just so you know. If you're Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's the Marc Cox Morning Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
If you're thinking of selling your house, you're watching interest rates, and now is the time. I have 2 words for you. Gloria Liu. She is my real estate agent, and I think she should be yours too. 314-325-6888 is how you get a hold of her. She runs your home sold guaranteed realty. What does that mean for you? Well, it means peace of mind, no stress. It means not having to worry that you might end up with 2 mortgages. And if you want to sell your home fast and for top dollar, you want to work with Gloria Liu. I've met her clients. I am one of her clients. Here is her guarantee to you, and she'll put it in writing that she'll sell your home at 100% of market value, or she'll pay you the difference. I don't know how you beat that. I don't know anybody in town that's doing it. If you have questions, just call her and ask her. She'll be glad to talk to you about it. That's Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888, or visit her online. Tell her Mark sent you. Go to gloriahasthebuyers.com.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th. So go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
Some days life just doesn't slow down. Trust me. Between work, errands, and everything in between, who has time to grocery shop? That's why there's Ruler Foods Delivery. RulerFoods.com for more information. Get all your favorite Super Saver deals, fresh produce, and household essentials delivered directly to your door. Whether you're short on time or just need a hand, Ruler Foods Delivery is here for you. Visit RulerFoods.com and click on Delivery to start your order today. Shop smart, spend less, save more with Ruler Foods Delivery.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 39 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Democrats retake Virginia. I'm Kathleen Maloney, Fox News. Voters in Virginia elected Abigail Spanberger as governor, the moderate Democrat stressing unity in her victory speech.
I have worked with anyone and everyone, regardless of political party, to deliver results for the people that I serve. And that's because I believe in this idea that there is so much more that unites us as Virginians and as Americans than divides us.
Spanberger won nearly 58% of the vote in defeating Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears.
We must pray for Abigail. We must pray for our government. You are the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. We must pray for our state, and we must pray for our country.
She staked her campaign on economic issues. New Jersey voters keep the state blue.
Today, New Jersey Democrats are celebrating after voters here in Jersey did promote the Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill to be the Garden State's next governor. This race focused heavily on cost of living, but it also is seen as something both parties are looking very closely at in terms of messaging ahead of next November's midterms. Let's get you the numbers from overnight, which shows that Sherrill had no problem defeating the former Republican Assemblyman Jack Ciattarelli. It's notable multiple counties where President Trump saw a surge in support last year flip back to Democrats' favor in this election. Overnight, Ciattarelli spoke to his supporters in Bridgewater, says he called Sherrill to congratulate her on her victory. This was his third time running for governor.
Fox's Marc Meredith. New York City voters put their trust in Democratic socialist Zoran Mamdani.
On January 1st, I will be sworn in as the mayor of New York City.
He defeated former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo and Republican Curtis Sliwa. America's listening to Fox News.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you got to make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Good morning. It's 7:03 at 97.1 FM Talk. I'm Scott Jagow. Sunny and 73 today, but there is a cold front on the way in a few days. Dave Murray has the forecast coming up. Right now it's 55. Mixed results locally on Election Day. Bellefontaine Neighbors residents approved an extra sales tax on marijuana. Clayton voters approved a prop on gender-neutral language. Creve Coeur passed a local tax proposal, but voters in Ladue and Veneta Park rejected theirs. Melville School District passed a school levy, but Rockwood said no. Missouri Senator Josh Hawley has sent a letter to Boeing urging the company to negotiate in good faith with the striking machinists. Hawley says just last year, Boeing and machinists in Seattle agreed to a contract after a 53-day strike. This one has gone on for about 60. St. Louis City Hall putting a plan in place to raise salaries. It's designed to help fill long, empty positions. A new report finds the city's starting salaries for employees lag significantly behind other governments locally. In sports, the Blues are in the nation's capital tonight after snapping a 7-game losing streak. They're taking on Alex Ovechkin. He's still stuck on 899 goals. He would be the first player to score 900. Of course, he passed Wayne Gretzky last April for the all-time scoring lead in the NHL. The Blues have a back-to-back. They will play in Buffalo tomorrow night, then Saturday here against the Seattle Kraken. Mizzou, big game this weekend, facing one of the top 3 teams in the country. That's Texas A&M. That's at home. Illinois is off. They'll host Maryland a week from Saturday. And St. Louis's professional pickleball franchise, yes, we have one. The St. Louis Shock won the first ever Major League Pickleball Cup over the weekend in Dallas. It's 7:05, 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We've got a jam on the Illinois side. It's all due to road work. Westbound 5570, jamming 203 to the Poplar Street Bridge. The left lane's down, and that is through Friday. Now, 64 is now jammed back past 25th Street as well. Accident reported, this one on northbound 270 as you approach Manchester, and of course, heavy traffic behind that back to at least Big Bend. We've got some volume too on eastbound 64 this morning, but before you even get there, southbound 61 has slow pockets from Highway P, and then 64 slow pockets from there through Winghaven, and then things open up a bit. And 70 eastbound, kind of the same way, just some moderate volume out west, Lake St. Louis Boulevard to the Blanchette Bridge before it opens up and then looks better. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Brought to you by your local Lennox Premier dealer, Scott Lee Heating.
Scott Lee Heating's Premier Dealer distinction means you'll be working with the best the industry offers. Learn more about our special savings opportunities on Lennox products by calling 314-756-9444 or visit us online at scottleeheating.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Sunny skies on this Wednesday, but we do have a cold front coming by. It will turn windy as winds swing from the south to the north this afternoon. 73 for the high, but expect temperatures to be dropping slowly through the 60s during the afternoon. Clear skies and cold tonight, full moon, 41. On Thursday, sunny and 65. Friday, partly sunny, maybe a spot shower, 71. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Listen to the Marc Cox Show anytime, anywhere on the free Odyssey app, AUDACY. Download it now to listen to 97.1 FM Talk. It's 7:07.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
And welcome back. I'm Ryan Recker filling in. Happy to be with you. And I got to also mention, Scott, I had some other stories from in other news that I didn't get a chance to bring up. There's a couple of court cases that are going on. Of course, the Supreme Court case when it comes to tariffs and presidential power, that's going to be a really big argument that's happening today. And another argument that's happening is hurling a sandwich at a federal agent, an act of protest or an act of violence. I'm curious about that court case, too. This happened over in, was it Portland? Where was this? I'm trying to remember exactly where it was. Nope, Washington, D.C. Couldn't be further off when it came to mapping that one on the map. So a resident of Washington, D.C., Sean Dunn, is charged with a federal crime, which is, assaulting federal agents. And what he did was threw a submarine-style sandwich, so a sub, at a U.S. Customs and Border Protection agent outside of a nightclub in August. And he said he was expressing his opposition to Donald Trump. So throwing subs, a sandwich, at federal agents, does that constitute protest, or is that a, let's say, act of violence, a crime? A harmless gesture, a right to speak out, an extension of your free speech rights to throw sandwiches at federal agents. or is it something that is a federal crime? I guess we'll find out. I think it's a crime.
What kind of sandwich was it?
If you're hungry and want to find out, it said it had onions and mustard on it. I don't know what kind of meats, but onions and mustard are smelly. If that adds something to the story.
Yeah. I think
So you're
think that's a crime
all you
against the
needed to hear.
sandwich. I would hate to throw a good sandwich at anybody. Throw a good
I
sandwich
know.
away. I love sandwiches too much.
I'd rather it be a sandwich than a brick, though.
Yeah, that's
You know what I
true.
mean?
Yeah. Or
Although
urine
some
bombs.
sandwiches are as hard as bricks,
Yeah.
depending on where you go.
Well, the famous stuff that happened here in St. Louis during the protests were the urine bombs. They were basically bagging up baggies of urine and throwing them at police officers. I would say sandwich is better than that. If you are on the receiving end of it, I'd rather take the onions and mustard than what other things could be thrown at you.
I'm pretty sure it was Subway.
You think so?
Yeah, no, because the photos I'm looking at where they have police presence was outside a Subway in
gotcha.
August
So-
in Washington. Yeah.
He was so hungry and so mad, and the anger took over. He thought he'd just walk back in and get a new sub. Why don't you just throw like pennies then? Like handfuls of pennies would probably be more effective than the money you're spending on that sub. So
I could imagine walking out of a Subway, taking a bite of a Subway sandwich and throwing it at somewhere because there's so many better places to get a sandwich.
our submarine sandwich correspondent, Scott J. Gow, is analyzing the sandwiches to fully understand what we're dealing
I
with
am
here.
an expert on sub sandwiches. I can tell you that.
I love I think we've talked about this, the Firehouse sub. Then they have the Thanksgiving sub going on right now. Oh, am I a fan of that? I love that sub. Just cranberry sauce, turkey, stuffing, gravy. It is the best sandwich. So good. Oh, I love it. Hey,
All right,
we
to
have
each his
to
own. To each his own.
we have to joke because there are some disasters in elections yesterday, including Mamdani officially becomes the new mayor of New York. The Republicans lost in New Jersey. They lost in Virginia. The California Proposition 50 with redistricting. That's a big yes for the California vote. So it was not a great day. They're going to lose some House seats. Republicans are. It's not a good day for Republicans this morning if you're looking for a recap of the elections. We'll keep an eye on that. By the way, also joining us from the Heritage Foundation this hour, Mary Vought, and looking at maybe some of the struggling areas where Democrats may lose some grounds. But after last night, they got a lot to celebrate. But before we do that, let's do the short list.
The Marc Cox Short List, presented by Rhino Shield.
And if there is any way to terrify a despot, it is by dismantling the very conditions that allowed him to accumulate power. This is not only how we stop Trump, it's how we stop the next one. So, Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up.
All right, turn the volume up is what he said to Donald Trump. I know you're watching. Listen to me carefully. I hope. Can I just tell you what my hope is? There's a funny side of Donald Trump. The dude can be very funny at times. I hope he makes Mamdani into a joke as opposed to an enemy. I hope that he leans into it with his comedic side and just points out how absurdly stupid him and his policies are, so people laugh at him. That's what I'm hoping.
When you put it down on paper, it's so improbable that it has to be orchestrated. I'm sorry, I'm not a conspiracist. You have a hard left socialist with no managerial background, 34 years old, hatred for capitalism. It sounds like an Antifa Twitter feed of the last 10 years.
Greg Gutfeld's so good at breaking these things down. I really like his perspective. He's been there for a while. Just so you know, I did go as Greg Gutfeld as Halloween one year. That says anything. I didn't actually go out. I just dressed up in work. So we had to dress up for work or whatever. I went as Greg Gutfeld. That was the extent of it. I had to go out and get glasses because I wasn't wearing glasses at the time. And then I returned them to Walmart when I was done.
I don't agree with Mamdani solutions, and it is that I don't think they'll work. I wish it was as simple as he'd like to think. Focus on what people are concerned about. We were talking about paycheck to paycheck, off camera, and that is a focus.
Yeah, paycheck to paycheck. This is what goes down in people's lives as the things that matter to them the most. All the socialists that say things are going to be great, cost of living is going to go down, I'm going to be able to go to the grocery store and pay what I want, things are going to be great for me. Oh boy, I think you're in for a rude awakening, because that's not how the real world works.
Maybe you should become a Democrat, Marjorie.
No, I'm not a Democrat. You want to know something? I'll say this. I think both parties have failed.
Maybe you should be a Democrat, Marjorie. That was The View yesterday with Marjorie Taylor Greene. We're going to play more clips of that this hour, too, by the way.
Right, I can't stand listening to their voices.
All right, I'll give you the option. Should we just play like AC/DC music for a segment, or Alice's Restaurant?
Well,
or
either
should
one,
we play clips from The View? Ethan, cue up Alice's Restaurant. We're going to do that instead of The View. For some reason, he's not moving. Ethan is not moving quickly to find Alice's Restaurant. He's shaking his head. He's saying, not going to happen. All right.
Come on. It is like 3 weeks too early for the Thanksgiving tradition, but
yeah. Mary Vought is the Vice President of Strategic Communications at the Heritage Foundation. Is AOC poised to come in and lead the Democrats as the midterms here, the special elections that happened? Is that paving the way for AOC to rise from the ashes, the socialist ashes of New York City? We're going to ask her about that coming up. You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show. I'm Ryan Recker, filling in 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, it's been interesting on the roads this morning. We still have a jam on the Illinois side. I'm so sorry. It's just a parking lot for westbound 64 drivers from 37th Street to 5570. And westbound 5570 is a parking lot from 203 as you head for the Poplar Street Bridge. This is all due to road work in the left lanes, which goes through Friday. Northbound 55 on the Missouri side, slowing at 67, and then in pockets approaching 270 through the construction zone. And it looks better after Loughborough. Northbound 270, slow pockets 55 through Manchester. Southbound is a little bit slow at Ladue Road. It's just a moderate volume. Now, southbound 61 is slowing this morning from P down through 64, and 64 has slow pockets out west as you head toward 141. Moderate volume along eastbound 70 in that area this morning. It looks better after 270. And we are still quiet through North County. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
This report is sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis.
Attention veterans and active military. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is giving veterans and active military 10% off all month. That's 10% off all doors, openers, and any service or repair. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Waterproofing, crack repair, concrete leveling, you name it, and Home Shield Foundation Repairs can take care of it if it deals with the foundation of your home. All of those things fall in line there. And my friend Matt Hayes is just an expert in all of it. I mean, he can absolutely fix it. And in many cases, if it's waterproofing, give you a lifetime warranty. That means no more sweating in the middle of the night when you hear thunder and you know it's raining outside, because you know you're probably going to have water in the basement the next morning. No reason to put up with that. Get it fixed now, once and for all. Get it fixed permanently. He can also fix those low-level areas in your driveway or a sidewalk that have started to sink without having the costly repair of having to dig it up and repair all that concrete. He just sticks polyurethane under there and levels it up. It's very cost efficient. Call him at 314-227-9636 or online at HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, this is Ryan Wiggins. You know I love great deals, and when I find one, I'm going to pass it along. How about 75% off of snacks, chips, and especially Little Debbie products? It's its second-generation distribution in Roxana. I go there all the time. Plus, you can search through while you're there. Their nice selection of toys, electronics, home goods, apparel, all discounted. You're going to love this store Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 301 South Old Edwardsville Road in Roxana, Illinois, or visit them online to see the full inventory. Type in Little Debbie Store Roxana.
Hey guys, Sid Glock and Colt from Tactical Shop in St. Peters. We sell guns now. That's right. Not just any guns, Gucci guns. The guns you're looking for. Come in and ask about custom orders if we don't have it. Tactical Shop, Cave Springs and St. Peters.
Missouri Grit. Marc Cox on 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Marc Cox Morning Show. I'm Ryan Recker filling in. And if you're looking at election results from last night, Proposition 50 in California passes. They want to redistrict, and heavily so for the Democrats in California. Mamdani takes New York. Democrats take New Jersey. Democrats take Virginia. It was a night where Democrats are celebrating. They're saying, see, this is what we've been telling you. From the ashes of New York, can an AOC rise? That's the question now. What happens next? And joining us is Vice President of Strategic Communications at the Heritage Foundation, Mary Vought. Good morning.
Thank you, Ryan. Good morning.
So what do you think is the logical next steps for the Democrat Party, who are out there celebrating today, saying we can do whatever we want now?
Well, Ryan, I don't think you can use the word logical and Democrat Party in the same sentence, and it makes sense. So I'm not going to do that. I live in Virginia, waking up in Virginia and seeing these results. I mean, it's absolutely mind-blowing. It's unfortunate. And most of the Democrat candidates chose to run against Donald Trump, and that's the reality of it. They don't like Donald Trump. They don't like the policies that he's implementing. And, Jay Jones, the Attorney General candidate in Virginia, the top cop that said he would shoot his political opponent and his kids in the head, his entire debate performance was about prosecuting Donald Trump and using the office of the AG to go after Donald Trump. So that's their playbook. That's what they're focused on. And they're trying to tap into individuals that are upset with his presidency.
Yeah, I find that this may look like a short-term victory for the Democrats. I feel like once reality sets in and the disaster could be waiting for them in New York City, I feel like the socialists are going to turn on him when they realize that all the free things that they thought they were going to get, it reminds me kind of like Obama in a way, where remember, when Obama was running for the second term, they would go back and they said, I was told I would get free housing and free food, and none of this is free and everything's more. Just wait. I mean, this Mamdani will make Obama look like a conservative.
I hope so. I mean, we saw this with Obamacare when Obama was pushing that during his term. I mean, people thought that the idea of free healthcare, government-run healthcare, was such a great idea. And then when they started to actually have to work under it and get prescription drugs and function with it, they realized, oh, hey, wait, allowing government to have more involvement in private healthcare decisions for my family isn't a good idea. And a lot of people now, I mean, the Washington Post 2 months ago had an article saying that it actually wasn't effective. It wasn't good. And so, it hopefully the realization that these socialist policies actually hurt Americans and families will happen sooner rather than later. It's pretty disconcerting. I mean, in New York City, such a powerhouse financial city, to have someone that wants to redistribute wealth, free housing, just wants to open the doors to immigrants and all this ideology, it's absolutely frightening.
Can I tell you what the game plan that the Democrats have been pretty effective at in recent months? So you have the government shutdown, and the Democrats have been very effective at lying and saying it's the Republicans that are keeping the government shut down. Now, keep in mind, over a dozen times Republicans have voted to open the government back up, and every time it's the Democrats that vote to keep it closed. But the way they're able to spin it and lie to people. Now, going back and talking about Obamacare, it's the Republicans and they want to destroy this and they want to, have your prices. They want to do all that. Now, keep in mind, Obamacare destroyed those markets. They made things so unaffordable that only subsidies could keep it down. You became relied on government subsidies, and definitely the insurance companies and medical providers took advantage of that because they knew there was money coming from the government. It destroyed the cost there, and they're blaming Republicans. So Republicans got to find a way to get a better message out there and make sure people know this is absolutely on the Democrats.
I think you're absolutely spot on. I think one of the hurdles that we have is that it's the Democrat Party that has mainstream media still. And they will just regurgitate any talking points, any lies, no fact checking. It's not data-based journalism. It's talking points from the Democrat Party. And so we have to really support conservative outlets. We have to find other avenues for getting our message out. And it's scary. It's alarming that people go to the polls and aren't looking at the facts and don't realize what these policies actually mean for their families.
Yeah. So what does that mean for the stars of the Democrat Party? Because the other day, I thought this was hilarious. Kamala Harris was on a podcast with Jon Stewart, and she said, we're the party of the stars. Mom Donnie's a star, and Crockett's a star. Okay, so those are the stars of the Democrat Party. What does that mean?
Yeah. Can we just go back to the time when Kamala Harris wasn't doing interviews? Remember the campaign presidential trail when she dodged every interview? Because I would like that. These constant interviews is just absolutely just so annoying. I mean, the Democrat Party is moving far to the left, and anyone that listens to AOC for 2 minutes realizes she has absolutely no idea what she's talking about. And it's alarming, and it's being used to push individuals like Schumer to the left, and it's frightening. I mean, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. I hope people, use this as a wake-up call to start digging into the facts and policies and seeing what the Democrats are actually pushing and can start to make real change. But yeah, these stars on the left, they're coming up with crazy manic ideas, and it's very, very scary to be an American.
Yeah. And the AOC aspect of it, she was someone that I think really made social media a strong strategy. And a lot of people understood that that's how she became popular. Not because of anything she'd done by merit, not because of anything she's done as a legislator, but I think that AOC in rising as a party, do you think the Democrats are going to look at her as a reasonable candidate because they're filled with so many unreasonable people right now? And is she going to be like the moderate Democrat compared to what they have to offer?
Yeah, I think a lot of young Democrat voters like AOC. They like the idea of her. They want this, what they would consider some hip, fun individual that messages to them and they can feel connected to. I mean, I think the Democrat Party will get around any candidate that can help them win. They are so violent against the left and conservatives. They want to take our country in a different direction. If they think a moderate candidate will get them there, if they think a far left candidate will get them there, that's who they're going to gravitate to, because it's all about power and having control. And they are frustrated with Donald Trump is doing. And it's not that Donald Trump is doing this on his own and he wants to make these decisions. The American people voted. They told him what they wanted to do. The polls spoke. They wanted to fix the border and crime and the economy. And so he's implementing what he was told when he was elected. And, the Democrats don't like that. They want to take our country in a different direction. So whether it's far left or moderate, they're going to get behind whoever they think can win.
Yep. Vice President of Strategic Communications at the Heritage Foundation, Mary Vought. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Larry Kudlow said very similar things, like, numbers on the economy looking good. Why is Donald Trump's approval
When
rating
you're
so
approaching
low?
retirement,
97.1.
there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
License number E2014A.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Dad, that's what Grandpa Rip always said.
That's right. 50 years ago, Grandpa started Grasser, and whenever a customer called, he'd smile and say, "Hey, it's good to see you."
Hey, it's good to see you.
It was his way of treating people like neighbors, not numbers. That's why we still say it today.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Men, need a clinic that accepts all insurance, including Medicare? U.S. Men's Medical Center in St. Peters does. U.S. Men's helps men experiencing loss of energy, focus, concentration, and low libido. And they accept all insurance, even Medicare, for testosterone replacement therapy. Patients love the staff and the fact that, yes, I'm going to say it again, they accept all insurance, including Medicare. Feel better? Call U.S. Men's Medical Center at 636-244-5333.
Good morning. It's 55 degrees at 7:30, 97.1 FM Talk. I'm Scott Jagow. Some stories we're following this morning. On Election Day, Bell Fountain Neighbors residents approved an extra sales tax on marijuana. Voters in Creve Coeur passed a local tax proposal, but Ladue and Veneta Park rejected theirs. Melville School District passed a school levy, but Rockwood voters said no. Missouri brought back a tax credit for films and TV shows, and it appears to be working. Soul on Fire and Ted Lasso have filmed in Missouri, in part because of the credit, and at least 3 more productions are still to come. Kirkwood residents will see their electric bills go up. Kirkwood's last rate increase was 2016, but the city's electric department overspent its budget for infrastructure repairs. WashU experts say wastewater data shows Missouri is low on COVID cases, but surrounding states looks like more cases could be coming. It is 7:31, 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, the problem area this morning is the Illinois side again, where westbound 5570 is jammed, approaching 203 to the Poplar Street Bridge. This is all due to road work in the left lanes, and that's jammed up 64 westbound back almost to 111, but not quite. Northbound 55 drivers, it's jammed at 67, and then in pockets approaching 270 through the construction zone. It goes up through Loughborough before it opens. Northbound 270, slow pockets 55, up through 64. We've got southbound a little slow at Ladue Road. Eastbound 70. Well, there is some volume as you just pass the 70 split with 64. Turns out there's an accident near Lake St. Louis Boulevard. And southbound 61 is really jammed this morning. There was an accident near Highway P, and then it's jammed at 64 as well. 64, by the way, slowing out at Prospect in pockets through the Boone Bridge. Yeah, it's a slow go. This report brought to you by the Diamond Shop. The Diamond Shop, making St. Louis sparkle for over 100 years. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. Have you been thinking that retirement is closer than you realized? Because for years, it just seems like it's way, way off. So you save and you think, all right. And then one day you wake up and think, dang, okay, this is getting real. And it's within a couple years here. We really need to figure out what's going on. Yeah, you're right. You do need to figure that out. You need a written retirement financial plan in place. and you need help from an expert to do that. I like financial and tax architects because their idea is we're going to teach you about how the system works, then you'll understand it, and then we can sit down and do a plan with you, and you'll just feel better about everything because you understand how things work. So call them today and go to a class they offer for free called Retirement Planning 101. It's free, but you have to register. Call 314-888-5101, 314-888-5101, and start there.
Ronald Reagan once famously said, "Government is not the solution, government is the problem." When it comes to economic growth, government can be a roadblock. With red tape, regulations, and subsidies, government stifles entrepreneurship and also props up businesses that deserve to go under. Unlike government, free markets encourage risk-taking, freedom to succeed or fail. Government shouldn't be picking winners and losers, the market should. Free markets benefit the business owner and the customer by encouraging competition. Free market enabled a young man named J.C. Hall selling picture postcards in Kansas City to turn his idea into Hallmark cards. In St. Louis, the free market made it possible for Adolphus Busch to turn his father-in-law's local beer into the world's largest brewery. A free market also means you get to send your kids to the school of your choice. Learn more about free markets at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
The bad news? Prices are rising everywhere. The good news? We can help. As health insurance brokers, our services are free. We work for you, not the insurance companies. But what type of insurance can we investigate for you? Do you need health insurance for yourself, family, or business? Have you considered life, dental, vision, or accident supplements? Let us explore your options with you. Call Bill Pauly and his team at the Pauly Agency. We put the sure in insurance. For a free quote, call 636-222-2149. That's 636-222-2149.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at USPS.com/holidays.
Where common sense rules the mic. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back. I'm Ryan Recker, filling in for Marc Cox. You can find me online at Ryan Recker or Ryan Recker Radio on Facebook. So I gave the option, we can either talk The View with Taylor Green hosting, or maybe we can do some other things. We're going to have to figure that out in the future. I said, Scott, if you wanted to sing Alice's Restaurant for this segment, as opposed to listening to clips from The View, we'd give you that option.
I don't think anyone wants that.
Okay, well.
First of all, the song's 17
alternative
minutes long. I probably know most of the lyrics, but I'm not going to do it.
How does it start? Like, what's the first lyrics of the song? It's just, you can order anything you want.
You can get
it starts
anything
that way.
you want.
Oh, you can
at Alice's Restaurant, excepting Alice.
Bum, bum. Bum. Oh, we're going to Marjorie Taylor Greene then. Sorry. I apologize to everyone ahead of time because it was such an odd thing to see. I didn't watch the full episode, but as soon as I saw it on the TV, because of course we have all the networks on in the newsroom when I'm working, and there she comes out, and The View is laughing. They're having a good time. They're enjoying themselves. I said, what is going on here? I'm going to stand by my previous theory that we've entered a parallel universe. And at some way, the Mandela effect thing starts to happen where we have socialist Marxists now running New York City as just getting voted in. And we have Marjorie Taylor Greene is a guest on The View, and they love her. How did that switch over happen and no one noticed it?
Yeah,
so,
I don't know. That's really hard to fathom.
So let's look at a couple of clips from that. I think this is one we already played. Let's do clip number 9.
I'll do anything I can to work hard to save
Maybe you
this
should become
country.
a Democrat, Marjorie.
No, I'm not a Democrat. You want to know something? I'll say this. I think both parties have failed.
Well, what was said before that? That
I
mean,
should've backed
that
up, I guess.
prompted them to say maybe you should be a Democrat.
Join us, Marjorie. Like, well, isn't it strange they're trying to invite her into the party? What does that say? Like, what do you think that message is where before they hated her and they said, this is the reason why we hate Republicans. And now they said, join us with open arms like a cult.
It's very suspicious. It's very
It is
suspicious that the View hosts would want to have her on. I don't know what their ulterior motive is, but I guarantee you they had one.
Join us. It does sound like a cult, doesn't it? Like you're visiting the grounds of a commune. Join us. And this is the council. Join us. But suspicious is the right word. That is fantastic word. That sums up this whole thing. Here, this is clip number 10.
But when I talk about weak Republican men, I'm pretty much talking oftentimes about the leadership in the House and the Senate, and they're not getting our agenda done. And I've got so many bills. I have a bill you guys in New York would love. It would end capital gains taxes on the sale of your primary home. So if you've owned a house for a long time,
We used to have that.
well, we need it back.
Yeah.
But I can't even get it to the floor for a vote without Mike Johnson approving it to come to the floor.
Okay, so showing that you have frustrations with your party. Oh, you gals would love this because you're all rich.
Yeah.
What's the capital gains tax? It's like anything over, was it $500,000? Is it $1 million? What's the number in New York? I'd have to double check that.
I don't know.
But if your property value, here's the reason why, in some cases, New York City, why you need things like that. Because there's a lot of fraudulent bidding that goes on where they sell things super low and then they turn around and they flip it for a super high because they're trying to take advantage of these taxes. If you got rid of that, it would just be nonstop fraud. People would be claiming these flippers for their main residence in order to gain the system. It's 100% what would be happening in places like New York City, where prices are, astronomically high to begin with. So I can see why, when you have all these other problems, and Donald Trump just got back into office, they have priorities that they're trying to set legislatively. And she's saying we need to get rid of capital gain taxes on main residents in New York. And they're like, okay, that sounds like something that happens down the line, not like number one priority. So you have Speaker Johnson saying, okay, we got other things to do. And I'm so offended by that. I'm Marjorie Taylor Greene. How dare you not do everything I say? So I'm going to start ripping with my party. And she calls them weak men. Maybe that's why the View liked it so much. They love the idea of ripping on men partially too.
That's
Come
clearly.
on, Marjorie. I can't do the Joy Behar voice.
It sounds like you're doing a South Park voice.
I need to hear it one more time. Ethan, can you play just the start of clip 9 where Joy says, join us?
I'll do anything I can to work hard to save
Maybe you
this
should become
country.
a Democrat, Marjorie.
Okay. Become a Democrat, Marjorie. Become a Democrat, Marjorie. I'm not good at it. I really can't.
You do. You sound like Terrence and Phillip from South Park. Marjorie.
How dare you, buddy? Don't call me your pal, Marjorie. This is, I have one more clip, and this is all we pulled. So clip number 11.
I've got to tell you, I'm sitting here just stumped. Because you are a very different person than I thought you were. I feel like I'm sitting next to a completely different Marjorie Taylor Greene. Why the change? Why the evolution?
Well, Sonny,
it's like you've gone so right. It's like you're on the left now.
It is suspicious. This you're now on the left stuff is so suspicious. What are they doing? Is this like the precursor to her flipping parties? She says, no, I'm still a Republican. But is this her way of like strategically testing the waters to see if she should flip parties?
I have no idea what she's up to or what they're up to. I don't know. I don't watch that show. I've never watched that show. Well, I've seen it accidentally, but I turn it off. I turn it off as soon as the accident happens.
So one day you're called to the stand and you're under oath. So help me God. You put your hand on the Bible and they put you up there and they say, have you ever watched The View? And you say, yes, but, and then the prosecutor jumps in real quick. The answer is yes. Let the court record show. And Scott Jagow watches The View. And then the defense attorney, stop this right here.
Yeah.
This is out of order.
We are not clipping what you just said. We're not clipping it and saving it for later. The other one is I detest some of those, the people that are on the Today Show. The I can't think of her name. Hoda Kotb.
Oh, yeah, Hoda.
I cannot stand listening to her voice and the promos that they have. They have these promos that have been running for years on podcasts. So I'll be listening to a podcast. And then all of a sudden she comes on. She goes, guess what, everyone? We have a podcast. Like everyone has a podcast. She sounds like she just invented the wheel. And and they just over and over again run this promo. And I'm like jogging or walking or something. I stop and turn my phone off to make sure I can skip through that because I can't stand listening to it.
Yep. I just got this note from Ethan. Make sure to listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show podcast on the Odyssey app. Ethan, slip that in there right now. Everyone has a podcast. Podcasts are easy to do, and celebrities have ruined them, honestly. Because they get the most attention.
Yeah.
Their star power.
I agree with that.
And there's really good podcasters that are doing fantastic work, and celebrities get listens just for their name, and they're not even good. They're mostly just flat out terrible. There's far and few between good celebrity podcasts.
Yeah, there's a few of them out there that are pretty good, but in general, you're right. If you have a name, you have an automatic audience. That's the difficulty in building a podcast, because I've done this myself, is if you start from zero, it takes a long time to build an audience, even if you're really good. These people, celebrities, have a built-in audience already that's going to tune in the first episode.
And then tune out by 3 because they realize
how terrible they are.
This is terrible. Ugh, gross. So I know not podcast related, but a little bit of radio business related. We do have some AC/DC tickets to give away at some point this morning. So I am so excited to give those away. We haven't done it yet. So if you've been
what are you
wondering,
waiting for?
Did I miss?
When are we doing it?
I can't tell you, but it's going to happen
secret.
sometime before the end of the show. Listen to the podcast, and we'll tell you when you can win tickets to AC/DC. They're playing the Dome next year in September. It's going to be a huge show. They're going to, the heavy decibels will be playing and blowing the roof off that place. Maybe literally even. You never know based on the condition of the Dome. So we're looking forward to giving those away at some point this morning. After the break, Scott on the spot. It's the Marc Cox Morning Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We've got a jam on the Illinois side again today and probably through Friday. It's all due to road work. So westbound 5570 is jammed from almost 111, at least 203, to the Poplar Street Bridge. We've got work blocking the left lanes, and that's jammed up 64 westbound as well. MoDOT reporting an accident now, westbound 70 approaching Bermuda. Watch for that one. It looks to me like it's on the right shoulder. So some slow-moving traffic there. We've got plenty of volume out there. Northbound 55, slowing at 67, and then in pockets approaching 270 through the construction zone. Northbound 270, slow pockets 55 through 64. We've got a jam because of an accident eastbound 70 approaching Lake St. Louis Boulevard. A solid jam behind that back through the 64 split. Accident on eastbound 70 as well before you get to Z, and southbound 61 is jammed in that area too. By the way, southbound 270, some volume approaching Page down through 64. This report brought to you by Barron Mirror, Glass, and Door. They have the largest, most beautiful showroom in all of St. Louis, full of the latest, most custom designs. It's in Chesterfield Valley, and you'll see why they say creativity unlimited, quality unsurpassed. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
It's an annual tradition, the Florissant Veterans Day Parade at 1 p.m. on Sunday, November 9th. Come out and show your support as we salute the brave men and women who serve our nation. Details and parade route at 971talk.com/events.
Let me tell you one of the reasons I think we became the largest injury firm in the world, and it's not even close. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My wife and I had a plan early on. In our firm, our lawyers only work on certain types of cases. Our products liability and dangerous drug lawyers only work on those cases. Same for car crashes, workers' compensation, medical malpractice, and insurance disputes. Our thinking is for these lawyers to focus on one area of the law and live it and breathe it. Power comes from knowledge. Many lawyers do everything, jack of all trades. Not us. And we don't charge an hourly rate. You only pay us if we win. If you want to hire us, it's easy. Dial Pound Law on your cell phone, pound 529, or visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer from the comfort of your own home. Let us get to work for you. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meyer Grocery, or online at Amazon or at newnordicusa.com.
Let Banner Construction show you what a difference James Hardy can make to your home. Banner's exterior design team will show you custom design options to transform your home into the neighborhood showplace. Banner is a preferred James Hardy and Pella Windows specialist. With winter just around the corner, now is the time to think about Pella Windows for energy efficiency and comfort. Call Banner Construction 314-569-1050 to schedule your free in-home consultation, or the website bannerconstruction.com, and have a banner day.
Extra, read all about it.
The Fed just cut interest rates again, and that means now is the time to refinance with Golden Oak Lending. Lower rates mean lower payments, and our customers are saving hundreds every month. Plus, you can make no payments until next year. And if your loan doesn't close, we'll pay for your appraisal. Call 314-567-GOLD today and start saving.
Golden Oak Landing, join my blues.
NMLS number 114937.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
Scott Lee Heating's premier dealer distinction means you'll be working with the best the industry offers. Learn more about our special savings opportunities on Lennox products by calling 314-756-9444 or visit us online at scottleeheating.com.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. Not Kim on a whim, but Scott on the spot.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about this plane crash in Louisville. We have 9 people confirmed dead, and there are more than 16 missing at the moment. There were quite a few people. There were only 3 people in the plane, as far as I understand it. So the most people that are dead were on the ground. There is unbelievable video of the plane crash. There was a Uber driver or somebody who had a dash cam, and he was parked so close to where the crash was. This video is remarkable. The plane turns on its side and just a fireball. It had something like 38,000 gallons of fuel on it because it was on a long flight en route to Honolulu. And it's just a horrible tragedy. The governor of Kentucky calling it catastrophic, urging people to stay away from the area. There were no hazardous materials on the plane, but around that area near the airport, there were some places that had some hazardous materials. Doesn't sound like the plane affected those, but out of overabundance of caution, they have closed off that area, and who knows how long that'll last. But so many people missing. It's terrible. And we've been talking a lot about air travel recently. I mean, this is a cargo plane, but the idea of the air traffic controllers, it doesn't sound like that had anything to do with this. I'm not suggesting that. In fact, the plane itself was an MD-11, and their lifespan is around 30 years. This plane is 34 years old. So it was right on the edge of retirement. I'm guessing there might have been some sort of mechanical issue, or it could have been human. You never know I do find it interesting to watch shows about the investigations around airplane disasters because I think it's amazing how human beings can solve these issues when you have a plane that's in millions of pieces and then they put the planes back together like TWA 800. I covered that story back in the 90s.
That's a big one.
Yeah, and people thought it was a bomb, and then later it was discovered it wasn't, and it was a mechanical issue on the plane. And but my point is they reassembled that plane from the ocean. I mean, it's just the science that goes into it. You know, if you've watched the show like Air Disasters, I learn a lot. I've studied a lot of these cases myself. One of my best friends is a former airline pilot, and I've talked to him about this a lot. I just find it fascinating. Maybe it's morbid fascination. I feel terrible for the families of any of these tragedies, but the point of the investigations is to figure out what happened so it doesn't happen again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This video, the dash cam footage from a truck driver. So what looks like a lineup of tractor trailers. And this guy would have been, it's like almost like 90 degree. So he's almost looking straight on where what looks like the plane is struggling to get up, flips sideways where one of the wings of the plane is scraping across the ground as a fireball, and the momentum of the main cabin sideways continues to just fall into this semi area where all these trucks are parked. And the guy's reaction, because the camera's inside the semi truck too, he's in awe because he can't believe what he's witnessing.
Yeah.
His first instinct is to jump out of his truck and run out. Like, I got to get out of here. Like, I'm not backing this thing up quick. And then he realizes he's further, his distance is enough where he's probably safe, but he got a front row seat to this disaster. It is unbelievable.
That's going to scar him for life, though. I mean,
yeah,
to see something like that, and the amount of fuel on the plane because of the long trip, that's why there's a huge fireball involved in this one, and it will be interesting to see what the investigators find about it. It's just remarkable, the black boxes and things that they have to voice data recorders, and then just the data recorders. It takes months, usually years in many cases, to solve these, but hopefully they will find the victims and figure out what happened here.
Wow. Cool. Videos are there if you want to see them. And I didn't realize until you said it right there that there's still some people missing, that unaccounted for.
16.
I didn't realize that. 16.
Well, as you said, there were some tractor trailer trucks on the ground where this hit. I don't know where all the people that they're talking about went missing from, but they were on the ground. They were on the ground. It's like that 1978 crash in San Diego when the plane went into a neighborhood. There was a small crash in San Diego this year where a small plane went into a neighborhood, coincidentally. But yeah, when a plane goes on the ground into a crowded area, it's horrific.
Absolutely horrific. We'll have more with Fox News coming up. Day after a special election day. We'll talk more about that on the Marc Cox Morning Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
More and more now, I'm hearing when all my customers that are calling and setting up appointments for looking at different types of furnace and air conditioners, they're calling in because of all the years that I've said there is a common sense approach, and they want to see what that is. Well over 95% of the people are very happy that they did call me. I'm not saying that they purchased anything from me, but they're extremely happy that they did call me. It's not being cheaper. It's being explained in such a way to where they can make an honest decision for themselves and their family and what's best for their pocketbook. When you start getting prices for the furnace and air conditioners, call me. It's one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. Again, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Again, that's 314-293-2600, or on the internet, it is bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for the Doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. We call them the Doctors because they've treated more than 250 doctors, more than any other practice in St. Louis. So if you're looking for the best doctors for your best vision, it's Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. Doctors Birdie and Malhotra are cornea surgeons and experts in the diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. I had an eye disease when I was younger. It left me with a silicone buckle around my right eye, so I put my trust in Ophthalmology Associates to take care of my annual checkups. Maybe you're experiencing dry eye, allergy eyes. They can help. They can help with cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma, and LASIK surgeries. And if you're looking for the best eye care, it's Ophthalmology Associates. Make an appointment today by calling 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com. They have a great office location just west of 270 on Manchester Road. Again, the phone number, 314-966-5000. The website, youridoc.com. Ophthalmology Associates.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/radio for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
The Fox News Alert. I'm Kathleen Maloney. President Trump reacting to election results where Democrats won big.
If you read the pollsters, the shutdown was a big factor, negative for the Republicans. And that was a big factor. And they say that I wasn't on the ballot was the biggest factor.
Democratic Socialist Zoran Mamdani going after the president while claiming victory as the next mayor of New York City. Fox's Peter Ducey has more.
Mamdani, just minutes after he won, is trying to send a message directly to the president.
Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up.
President Trump does not see these off-year elections as a referendum on his administration.
The government shutdown now in its 36th day. President Trump hosting Senate Republicans for breakfast this morning to talk about it. Voters in Virginia returned power to the Democrats. Fox's Alexandria Hoff with the details.
Abigail Spanberger was really seen as a moderate given the electorate of Virginia. She's a former congresswoman, also previously worked at the CIA as an operations officer. And she beat out Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears, a Republican in this race, by a 15-point margin, with Fox News polling showing that the economy dominated in terms of voter priorities. Now, Spanberger celebrated here in Richmond last night. In her closing message last night, Earl Sears told supporters that the American dream is still very much alive, that she is the embodiment of that, and that she's going to work with the incoming administration any way she can in order to make sure that Virginia is successful.
In New Jersey's gubernatorial race, Democrat Mikey Sherrill defeated Republican Jack Ciattarelli. California voters approved a set of temporarily redrawn congressional district maps designed to flip 5 Republican House seats into Democratic ones. America's listening to Fox News.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Good morning. It's 8:03 at 97.1 FM Talk. I'm Scott Jagow. Beautiful day. Sunny, 73 this afternoon, but a cold front is coming. Dave Murray with the forecast just ahead. Right now it's 60. Mixed results locally on Election Day. Bellefontaine Neighbors residents approved an extra sales tax on marijuana. Clayton voters approved a prop on gender-neutral language. Creve Coeur passed a local tax proposal, but voters in Ladue and Veneta Park rejected theirs. Melville School District passed a school levy. Rockwood voters said no. Missouri Senator Josh Hawley sending a letter to Boeing urging the company to negotiate in good faith with machinists in St. Louis. He says just last year, Boeing and machinists in Seattle agreed to a contract after a 53-day strike. This one has gone on for about 60. Missouri brought back a tax credit for films and TV shows, and it appears to be working. Soul on Fire and Ted Lasso have filmed in Missouri in part because of the tax credit, with at least 3 more productions still to come. In sports, the Blues are in the nation's capital tonight after snapping their 7-game losing streak. In the way, the all-time leading goal scorer in NHL history, Alex Ovechkin. He has 899 goals. He's one away from being the first player to get 900. No rest for the Blues. They'll be in Buffalo tomorrow night, and then they're back home Saturday to host the Seattle Kraken. Mizzou has a big game this weekend, facing one of the top 3 teams in the country, Texas A&M. It is a home game. Illinois is off. They're hosting Maryland next Saturday. And St. Louis's professional pickleball franchise, the St. Louis Shock, won the first ever Major League Pickleball Cup over the weekend. The 3-day event was held at Brookhaven Country Club in Dallas. It is 8:05, 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, we've got issues along I-70 right now. There is an accident at Wentzville Parkway. There's also one at Lake St. Louis Boulevard. It's actually approaching Lake St. Louis Boulevard. And all of this is creating a huge jam on southbound 61. Those drivers just trying to make a merge. And then an accident on eastbound 70 past Hanley. And that's created a jam, and that's jammed up southbound 170 drivers as well. Well, now we've got an accident reported on westbound 70 past Union. Some slow-moving traffic there. So if you have the option, 64 is not that bad. There's some volume out Winghaven through almost 94, and then just east of Lindbergh through Big Bend, but it's better than 70. Now, the other ugly jam we have is on the Illinois side, 5570 westbound jam back past 203, 64 back past 37th Street, and that's all due to road work. That's put extra volume on the McKinley Bridge this morning. Northbound 270, slow pockets, 21 on up through an accident reported at the Clayton Road overpass. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Sunny skies on this Wednesday, but we do have a cold front coming by. It will turn windy as winds swing from the south to the north this afternoon. 73 for the high, but expect temperatures to be dropping slowly through the 60s during the afternoon. Clear skies and cold tonight, full moon, 41. On Thursday, sunny and 65. Friday, partly sunny, maybe a spot shower, 71. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
You can hear the Marc Cox Show anytime, anywhere on the free Odyssey app. It's AUDACY. Download it now for free to listen to 97.1 FM Talk. It's 8:07.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Welcome back. I'm Ryan Recker. We have another hour of the Marc Cox Morning Show, and we have not given away those AC/DC tickets. That means it's going to happen at some point this hour. They're playing at the Dome on September 8th of next year, and the tickets are provided by Live Nation. We'll give a pair away at some point this hour. Ooh, it's a big one. It's a big one. So looking forward to doing that. One of the big stories that broke yesterday, and the question is, how deep is this story going to go? A St. Louis construction owner pleads guilty to pandemic loan fraud. Corey Elliott on Tuesday pled guilty to 2 counts of wire fraud brought by the public corruption prosecutor in the U.S. Attorney's Office. Information filed that they made false statement. Elliott, she did make false statements to get $1.7 million from the Small Business Administration Paycheck Protection Program. Some of that money that went out, spent in payments sent to unions and other entities. Here's what I'm going to say. The people online are saying this is someone that had deep connections in St. Louis politics, particularly Democratic politics. Corey Elliott takes the guilty plea, means she probably cut a deal. And in order to cut a deal, she gave information to federal prosecutors. Do you think there's a lot of nervous politicians in St. Louis right now that may have worked with her on projects or may have accepted money from her that are thinking to themselves, oh boy, this ain't good?
Well, first of all, the main connection is with former Mayor Tashara Jones's father.
Right.
Who
he's already had his
Yes.
issues. He's got lots of issues.
Right. So
Do you think it ends there, though?
I don't know. We've had aldermen go to prison here. We've had 2 superintendents now be canned, and very suspicious activity from both of them. We've had a lot of bad leadership in this city.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I mean,
Corrupt.
one after another. You could play the hits when it comes to bad leadership, corruption in St. Louis. So this is something that interests me mostly because if there was a deal that was cut, information given by Corey Elliott, who is implicated in those pieces of information to perhaps lessen the sentence for this pretty large piece of fraud. So that is going to be an interesting thing that could develop over the next, I'll say, 6 months or so. I'd be pretty nervous if I did any business with her over the last couple of years. All right, let's do the short list.
The Marc Cox Short List, presented by Rhino Shield.
Jimmy Kimmel lied about your husband's murder and didn't really apologize. What would you say to Jimmy Kimmel?
If you want to say I'm sorry to someone who's grieving, go right ahead. But if that's not in your heart, don't do it. I don't want it. I don't need it.
Don't want it, don't need it. Okay. She's not trying to make it look like during all of this, that's her goal, is to, publicly shame or whatever it is. She said, hey, this ain't listen, it's outside of me. I ain't going to play this game. If they made a mistake, which I think most people believe, Jimmy Kimmel made a pretty big mistake in making light of a situation, a political assassination at a school shooting nonetheless, then yeah, he should have apologized, and it shouldn't have been a forced thing for him to do, which sounds like it was a very forced thing for him to do. That does make him look bad. I think this makes Erica Kirk look really good.
Carlicia Grice is one of more than 1.4 million North Carolinians who rely on SNAP benefits.
Even that's not enough. And we're using cash to pay for food throughout the month, even going to pantries and just trying to make the ends meet because it's just not meeting.
I heard North Carolina there, Scott. I know that you're defending North Carolina over South Carolina, but this is in Charlotte. A woman on Section 8 housing, government subsidized housing, says she receives $1,000 a month in food stamps. And she's saying, I still have to pay out of pocket for food. $1,000 a month, and you are living on government housing Section 8, and you still can't keep it under $1,000 for food a month? What? That seems excessive.
It's well past time Democrats do what they did 13 times under Joe Biden and pass the clean funding bill extension. All we need are 5 Democrat senators to put country over party and vote to end this reckless shutdown.
Brings me back to the Radiothon days. It really does. We just need 5 more donors to match. We need to get a match. Just 5 more people. I don't know if the Democratic senators are going to hear that plea, and that'll be the reason why they decide to do it. I think their party is realizing they have to anchor on to this shutdown in order to allow Medicare, Medicaid, and also other government privileges to be extended beyond U.S. citizens. And they realize this is the only way they'll get it done is to keep the government shut down. So it's a tough trick. I mean, both sides are playing tricks, but this is a tough one.
Democrats are the ones that are not voting to fund the government. Now, I understand why they're doing so. They're doing so because of health care, and they want to fight, and they want Republicans to negotiate, et cetera, et cetera. They have convinced voters, Democratic voters and independent voters, that it's the Republicans' fault. And just on the numbers, that might not be actually accurate.
Oh, it's so funny. He won't call it a lie, but he'll say it's not accurate. But I mean, they're not telling the truth, but it's not accurate. But I mean, I don't know what you call that. But the way that they're spinning it right now, no, I understand. It's definitely politics that are being played here. You know, and I think there's some gamemanship that's happening on both sides. I think the Democrats are playing the game when it comes to Medicare, Medicaid, and trying to reverse some of the big, beautiful bill effects when it comes to showing proof of citizenship in order to get some of these entitlements, these things that are given to United States citizens. On the Republican side, the SNAP benefits thing, that's the tough thing that I think Republicans are using as, hey, we need this. But they're doing it for different reasons. The Democrats are using this as a way to keep the government shut down. Republicans are using it as a way to get the government back open. So these things could, the motivations of how they're holding the cards are very telling. And it's so interesting to hear Jake Tapper on CNN mention that it's the Republicans who are voting to open the government, and it's the Democrats that are voting to keep the government shut down. When there is a government shutdown and the benefits stop flowing, like the SNAP benefits, that's what happens. And that's what the Democrats are voting for right now. That needs to be very clear. But the Democratic messaging is stronger to the point where their base believes it's the Republicans' fault for not opening up the government. We got a lot to get to this hour, including our next guest. We're going to talk to Eben Brown, Fox News Radio, and we're going to talk about former Vice President Dick Cheney, who passed away yesterday. It's something that we were able to break on the show yesterday morning. Tonya J Powers will give a lookout of what happened on Election Day, the big races. It seems to go all Democrats' way yesterday, so we'll talk to her about that. And at some point, we got to give away those AC/DC tickets. That's going to happen as well. It's the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Traffic is slow. We've had several accidents along eastbound 70, but they just cleared the one at Lake St. Louis Boulevard. However, there was one approaching Wentzville Parkway. That's still unwinding. Southbound 61 is really jammed this morning, south of P, down through the 6440 split. Accident eastbound 70 past Hanley, causing delays there. And 64, most of the volume is on either side of Wing Haven and then east of Lindbergh through Big Bend, with westbound lining up, approaching Hampton out through McCausland. Northbound 270, slow pockets 21, on up through 64. And a jam on the Illinois side, westbound 5570 is back to 203. 64 is back to 37th Street, all due to road work in the left lane between 70 and the Poplar Street Bridge. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
I'm Jim Brennan of McKelvey Homes. Have you always wished for a brand new home in an established neighborhood? Select one of our move-in ready custom homes throughout St. Louis, or we will build on your lot. Visit McKelveyhomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
This is my favorite time of the year to finally enjoy our outdoor spaces because it's getting to the point where it's not too hot outside or it's not too cold, but you want an outdoor space that you actually can relax in, right? That's built to last. Lakeside Renovation and Design, they do basically everything. They could build you a custom deck. Maybe you've been wanting a screened-in porch, covered patio so that you can enjoy it even when it's raining. You can sit out there and drink your morning coffee, listen to our show. They can do all that for you. They use these durable, low-maintenance materials like for example, composite decking and aluminum railings, and they're built to last. That's what I really appreciate about them, is that they make sure that they use these quality materials. This is a family-owned company, been doing this here in the St. Louis area for close to 30 years. A+ rating from the BBB. Go look at how many 5-star reviews they have. You'll understand why so many people want to partner with the company, Lakeside Renovation and Design. Again, don't just wait until the spring to plan for the space that you want to enjoy next year. Start now with a free consultation. Go to lakesiderd.com.
This is Todd Nissenholtz of Kaufman Townsend. When I tell people who get in a crash, call a lawyer, but I often hear, I'm not the suing type. Listen, there are all types of people. Personally, I'm not the getting screwed type. If you're not the getting screwed type, call my firm, and we'll make sure that doesn't happen to you. Call Kaufman Townsley. Real people, real results. 314-500-5000. That's 314-500-5000.
Hey, this is Ryan Wiggins. You know I love great deals, and when I find one, I'm going to pass it along. How about 75% off of snacks, chips, and especially Little Debbie products? It's its second-generation distribution in Roxana. I go there all the time. Plus, you can search through while you're there. Their nice selection of toys, electronics, home goods, apparel, all discounted. You're going to love this store. Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 301 South Old Edwardsville Road in Roxana, Illinois, or visit them online to see the full inventory. Type in Little Debbie Store Roxana.
Now that we're getting older, we've been putting more thought into maintaining our health.
We knew the water we drink every day could be filled with contaminants. So
we called Leaf Home Water Solutions.
They came to our home and did a free water test and gave us the analysis right away.
We were shocked at what we saw.
They found heavy metals like iron and copper.
Our own tap water was putting our health at risk, but Leaf Home Water Solutions made it easy to get safer water from every tap and hose. A whole home solution.
They have more than 250 product combinations and designed a system that fits our needs and budget. The installation took less than a day.
With Leaf Home Water Solutions, our water is safer and healthier. When we drink, when we cook, when we shower, even when we garden.
We feel better about our health.
Thanks to Leaf Home Water Solutions.
Schedule your free home water test today at leafhome.com/free and save 15% on all home water treatment systems. That's leafhome.com/free for your free home water test and 15% off. leafhome.com/free.
Marc Cox is St. Louis conservative. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
It's amazing. You can use those same phone numbers to win a pair of tickets to go see AC/DC performing at the Dome on September 8th of next year. Caller number 8 wins a pair of tickets right now. And the prize provided by Live Nation. Oh, boy, this is going to be a big one. Heavy decibels will be playing at the Dome next year. AC/DC making a stop in St. Louis, and you could be there to see them. Of course, those numbers again, 314-241-9797, 866-455-9797. Caller 8. Good luck to you. Joining us now from Fox News Radio, Eben Brown. Good morning, Eben.
Good morning.
So yesterday, the news came out early that former Vice President Dick Cheney passed away. We're starting to see some reactions, and it looks like one notable reaction was missing. That was from the President of the United States.
Certainly, President Trump, has not offered any condolences, and I don't know if that's surprising to many. The Cheney family and President Trump do not get along. A lot of that has to do with the interactions between President Trump and the former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, who's the late vice president's daughter. But flags are ordered to half staff, I'm told, and that's the proper thing to do. And you will find over these next few days here, as Mr. Cheney's life is discussed, that he was a very polarizing figure, and that history will have to take its time to offer its best, analysis of his life and career. But in the short term here, an American family lost a husband and father and grandfather, a man who served in public service for decades and, became vice president of the United States.
Yeah, some political, some people in politics, they're controversial for different ways. I guess Donald Trump is definitely a controversial in one way. I kind of looked at Dick Cheney. The controversial is kind of like a Henry Kissinger controversial. It's a little bit different in the sense where
Yeah.
everything was super proper, but the policies and the things that were implemented that came from his department looked at in a way that could be controversial. So how do you think we're going to remember Dick Cheney?
So I think Dick Cheney would probably be remembered as the paragon of the old Republican war hawks. Someone who very much believed in the use of American military might in a proactive manner to try to prevent the enemies of America from coming here. And I think that went into overdrive after 9/11. Remember, he was vice president on 9/11. And in that scenario, the first time I think really since Pearl Harbor, the enemy attacked us on our own turf, and not just our own turf, but New York and Washington. I think that that ethos of taking the fight to the enemies kind of went into hyperdrive at that point. Often, though, with the support of the American people. Certainly, the American people were behind very much so the reply to Al Qaeda and the Taliban. And then they were sold to the idea of a war to depose Saddam Hussein because of this immediate threat of weapons of mass destruction. And we have decades of understanding how things were not always as they seemed, and we can argue that the goals of those wars weren't exactly met. That being said, again, the former vice president was very much a technocrat and had a very outsized role in the defense aspect of the Bush administration. Certainly President Bush 43 tapped into his expertise in the post 9/11 world. Normally, vice presidents don't do terribly much. In fact, the U.S. Constitution only really gives them two roles. One is to become president if the presidency is vacated. The other is to preside over the Senate, and it's something that they rarely ever do. They show up if there's a tie. They break the tie, right? But I've never seen a vice president spend day in and day out on Capitol Hill keeping the Senate moving. That hasn't been something that they traditionally do, even though it is a constitutional role. And so often vice presidents are given special tasks here or there. Mike Pence was given the national space policy role. Kamala Harris was given the border czar role. That's a whole other discussion, of course. But Dick Cheney settled in nicely to being sort of like this super defense secretary above Donald Rumsfeld and taking the lead in what was an unprecedented time.
Well, that's interesting, taking the lead in that aspect after 9/11. I think people wanted to give him more power than he might have had, meaning when you're outside of politics and you look at it, I think Saturday Night Live and all these other television shows, they kind of said he's the one that's really running the country right now. But there's a little bit of truth to that in the sense that he was given more power and he was relied on more than other previous vice presidents.
I think that was very much the case. In the George W. Bush's book, Decision Points, I think the title was, he did talk often about his respect for Dick Cheney. In fact, Mr. Cheney was on the steering committee for finding a vice president in the campaign. And eventually they just decided that the perfect person that George W. Bush was looking for was, in fact, Dick Cheney. And Cheney was not necessarily keen on doing it. He was older at that point already. He was not a healthy man. He had 5 heart attacks over the course of his life, the first one at age 37. And he was not necessarily looking to go back into Washington, at least in that kind of a role, but he agreed to do it. And some might say it was providence because of what happened, not quite a full year into that term, and that was 9/11. And there were a few other people in the country that had that type of defense expertise and technocratic knowledge that he did, and that he might have been there for the right reasons. Certainly, again, you can argue and discuss and analyze the outcome of his actions, but this was a man who had an impeccable resume, and I do think that he aimed to serve.
Yeah. I mean, to show how far spanning his political career, he was friends with Ford, and that goes back if you think about it. Eben Brown, Fox News Radio, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And yeah, I know that we're going to continue to see some more reaction to it, but this probably doesn't surprise you. The news cycle moves so quickly, it's already out, and that's kind of a shame in a way. Yeah.
If you're asking me, yes, yeah.
Yes, sorry. It was a
that's
final
the,
thought. I'm sorry.
That's okay. The nature of the beast is that things move very quickly in the news cycle, and there was this election last night, and that's going to take up a lot of the oxygen. So I don't know if there'll be a public memorial yet for the vice president. I don't know if being vice president entitles one to a state funeral. And at the same time, with the federal government shut down, Congress may not be able to have him lie in state if that was ever even a consideration. So, we're kind of, you'll have to just wait and see what the family decides.
All right. Evan Brown, Fox News Radio again. Thank you for joining us this morning.
You're welcome. Take care.
And we'll have the winner of the AC/DC tickets. We'll let you know who won that here in a minute. But also coming up, Tonya J Powers, Fox News Radio. And we had a big election last night. Who are the winners? Mostly have the D next to their name. 97.1 FM Talk.
What are you going to do in retirement? Have you thought about that? Maybe it seems too far away for you, but if you're in your late 50s, if you're 59 and a half specifically, it'll be here before you know it. Now, look at all that money you've got in your 401k. It's been doing well, but all of us have lived through 2007 and other times when the market has dropped 30 or 40%. What if that happened? At the Retirement Advisory Group, this is what they do. Bob Kershaw, Tammy Kershaw, Thomas Helbig, they put together plans so people can have personalized, structured income. They put together plans to protect your nest egg from the downturns in the market, but they still let you take advantage of when the market is up. I don't know how you beat that. If it's something you're interested in, not likely your Wall Street-based broker has mentioned this to you. Call my friends at the Retirement Advisory Group, 314-993-9494. They'll be happy to meet with you for free. Schedule online today at retirementkey.com.
License number E2014A.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Lights flickering?
Grasser can fix it.
Breaker keeps tripping?
That's a Grasser job.
Outlet not working?
Grasser makes it right.
Old wiring need a rewire?
Grasser rewires with care.
From little fixes to major fixes.
Even the tricky ones.
We treat your home like our own.
Treat? Did you say treat?
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. Divorce touches all areas of your life, your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you are facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. IBM will lay off thousands of employees in the current quarter. A 1% cut globally could impact nearly 3,000 employees. The hardware, software, and services provider said it expects U.S. headcount to stay flat year over year. Diabetes and obesity care were key growth drivers for Novo Nordisk. However, the company lowered its expectations for growth, citing prescription trends, competition, and pricing pressure. Novo Nordisk is currently locked in a bidding war with Pfizer for U.S. biotech firm Metsera. Toyota Motor has raised the operating profit forecast for its financial year ending in March, while flagging a $9.4 billion hit from U.S. tariffs. The company, which revised its operating profit outlook to just over $22 billion from $20 billion forecast earlier, missed profit estimates for the quarter ending in September. Futures are slightly higher. Tuesday, the Dow Industrials lost 251. The NASDAQ down 486. That's Your Money Now.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Just had an accident reported eastbound 44 west of Bowles, and it came down as an accident involving a vehicle rescue. I can't see the accident itself. They've turned the camera the other way, but it looks as though the left lane may be blocked. So watch for that. And an accident reported now eastbound 6440 past Prospect. That one blocking the right lane, and a jam behind that back through 70. Southbound 61, still some slow pockets headed down towards 64 this morning. Crews have been on the scene of an accident eastbound 70, and this one was pretty close to Hanley. Watch for that one as well. That one is blocking the left lanes. They've got only the right lane getting by, and that's got a jam that goes back past the inner belt. The other serious jam is on the Illinois side, and it's due to road work. So westbound 5570 jammed back past 203, and we've got 64 jammed back to 37th Street. That's because of left lane closure on westbound 5564. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hey, with cooler weather moving in, don't put yourself at risk for a power outage. Get a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. This is all about giving yourself peace of mind by calling now for a free estimate. You won't have to worry about waiting on hold with the power company. No more worrying about your home when you're away. Get a free estimate on a generator from Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. Financing is available 314-499-2020. Generator Supercenter of St. Louis.com. Let Banner Construction show you what a difference James Hardy can make to your home. Banner's exterior design team will show you custom design options to transform your home into the neighborhood showplace. Banner is a preferred James Hardy and Pella Windows specialist. With winter just around the corner, now is the time to think about Pella Windows for energy efficiency and comfort. Call Banner Construction 314-569-1050 to schedule your free in-home consultation, or the website bannerconstruction.com, and have a banner day.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs, with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at USPS.com/holidays.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25 plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, IGotFloor.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-908-8646 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-908-8646. That's 800-908-8646. What do you have to lose? Call 800-908-8646. Again, 800-908-8646.
From Collinsville to Chesterfield, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
And welcome back to the Marc Cox Morning Show. I'm Ryan Recker, filling in for Marc Cox this week. Congratulations to our AC/DC ticket winners. I got a message from Drew here. The winner's name is 67. Wait a minute. That's not right. No, winner's name is Michael from Alton.
Stop the 6-7.
So congratulations to Michael. He wins a pair of tickets to AC/DC. We have more tickets to give away tomorrow. It's going to be a huge show here in St. Louis next year. I would argue a show that could rival a Taylor Swift show. That's how big AC/DC is when they come into town. Joining us now from Fox News Radio, Tonya J Powers. Good morning, Tonya.
Hey, good morning.
I was looking at the election results, and it looks like Democrats had a great night. They got the Proposition 50 in California. Mamdani wins New York, and they win in New Jersey. They win in Virginia. It seems like all the key races go Democrats yesterday.
A lot of those did. Also, I mean, there's one that's really not getting talked about a whole lot, but it's the one down in Mississippi where 3 of the seats were flipped from Republican to Democrat, which breaks the Republican supermajority in the Mississippi legislature, which is kind of a big deal. It's getting overshadowed by some of these bigger races, but yeah, it kind of shores up what you were just saying. The Democrats had a pretty good night last night.
Yeah, and Mississippi's an interesting one too. You're right, because when you have and you're used to that supermajority, it's easy to get things passed through. When something wants to slow down, it's going to slow down when you don't have that supermajority. So let's look at some of the reactions that we're seeing. And it wasn't that much of a surprise based on polling for Mamdani, but he went scorched earth in the end of the night. He took the win and he took on the Trump administration right away.
Yeah, his acceptance speech did not shy away from directly talking to the president. Matter of fact, he said basically, I'm talking to you, turn the volume up. Like, I want you to hear this. He did not skirt the issue at all, which is, I guess he's kind of fighting fire with fire, because before election day, Trump had said, that he might withdraw or withhold rather early, the federal government funding for New York City if Mamdani was elected. So that was one of the things that we were watching, was all of the, information that was coming out about, threatening New York City if Mamdani was elected. There was also the New York City congestion pricing that he said he was going to ask the transportation secretary to get into, which would also be, another form of kind of like meddling in the New York State, politics from the federal government angle. No word on whether he's actually going to carry these things out or what's going to happen.
And, with New Jersey, some people thought there was a shot there. It wasn't as close as they hoped. Virginia wasn't as close as they hoped. So, really, was there any bright side for Republicans this morning that you can think of?
I mean, I don't know that there was a bright side, to be honest, because Democrats did do really well across the board. I think instead of a bright side, one of the things that should inform the Republican politicians is how voters perceived these races. We know what the numbers show, and we know who was elected, and we got the detail of that. But when you get down to it, we did Fox News voter polling, and it ran for the last week, during early voting in some of these states, as well as through Election Day yesterday. That's when it ended. So we got people on Election Day to explain, how they voted and what their thought process was behind it. And I think that's the thing to take away from this for Republicans, because let's take Virginia governor's race. Abigail Spanberger, the Democrat, won that race. Trump was not on the ballot, but he kind of was, because in that race in particular, close to 6 in 10 Virginia voters disapproved of the job he's doing. More than half said they strongly disapprove. The vast majority of those, 97% of those voters, backed Abigail Spanberger. 2/3 of her supporters said their vote was expressly to show opposition to the president. Now, keep in mind, this is Virginia, where you've got a lot of federal workers who live, also a lot of former federal workers who now don't have jobs, or are dealing with the government shutdown and aren't getting paid or furloughed or whatever. Those federal workers showed up at the polls. More than 6 in 10 of federal employees backed Spanberger. Of the 6 in 10 voters who said the federal budget cuts had affected their family finances, they backed Spanberger as well. The economy over and above the top issue for Virginia voters. And so, if nothing else, this is a takeaway for Republicans to learn, okay, here's what's behind the voter, thought process when they pick the candidate.
Yeah. I think if I were to look for a bright side in all of this for Republicans, it would be at least this wasn't the real midterms because that would have been devastating for the party.
Yeah.
So this is the time to, if you're looking at this in like a football game and there's 4 quarters, you're losing after the first quarter. You got a lot of game left to make up. I think that's maybe the bright side. And I also, I'm interested in how New Yorkers react to this. I mean, a majority of them vote. Over 50% of those that were voting, at least so far, and I know that the numbers could change a little based on when everything's counted, but more than 50% of those voters that went to the polls wanted Mamdani. Even if you took Sliwa's numbers and added them to Cuomo, it still wouldn't have put him over the hill, put him that way. So I think the true question is New York becomes this now on a trial status of socialism. And I think a lot of people are curious how that turns out and also frightened and probably petrified how that turns out. So what do you think we go from here? Or do you think people are just going to, look at this and it's out of the news cycle before we know it? Or do you think there's going to be some long-term ramifications?
I think, it's one of those things where we saw that obviously the youth vote played a huge role in Mamdani's win. 3/4 of voters that we polled under age 30 voted for him. Older voters broke for Cuomo by double digits, which, it shouldn't really surprise anybody that's been keeping up with this race. This was the biggest turnout in a mayoral race in New York City in more than 50 years. More than 2 million New Yorkers cast ballots, according to the Board of Elections. He won with a little over 50% of the vote. That's a million voters who said, yeah, we want to vote for this guy. If you contrast that with how much the winning vote total was for the last few mayors, it is astounding, quite honestly.
Right.
It's a huge difference. The voter excitement for Mamdani, what we found in the polling, you can either vote for somebody or you can vote for somebody against somebody else. And what the voters told us was most of them said their vote was for him rather than against his opponent.
Okay.
Cuomo's voters were more split. A few more of them said their vote was against his opponents than were for him. But it kind of gives you an idea of some of the motivation behind some of the voting that we saw. Again, huge turnout yesterday.
Yep. Tonya J Powers, Fox News Radio. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
And coming up after the break, I believe Scott is ready to perform Alice's Restaurant as we get ready to close out the show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
On the Illinois side, it's road work to blame. Westbound 5570. The left lane is blocked once you get to 64. And we've got a jam that goes back to 203. 64 westbound is jammed back past 25th Street. There was an accident involving a rescue eastbound 44 west of Bowles. The left lane blocked there, traffic slowing in both directions. Accident eastbound 6440. This one passed Prospect in the right lane, causing a delay back onto southbound 61. Eastbound 70 slowing in the Wentzville area, and also at Hanley where we had that earlier accident. And 64 is slowing east of Wing Haven. Now 55 looks pretty good at this hour. 40 eastbound though still slowing at 170. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. If you have started thinking seriously about retirement, because for a long time it seemed way off, and then one morning you think, wait a minute, this is coming, and do we know what we're going to do? Do we have a written retirement financial plan in place? Because that's essential. I don't know how else you're going to know that you're going to be okay through retirement. Financial and tax architects are great at this. They've helped people all over St. Louis retire with confidence. And what they do is they sit down with you and come up with a plan tailored specifically to your goals, but also to your values. And they'll see, okay, let's see what the tax implications will be for you. Let's look at what your income will be in retirement. Let's talk about when you should take Social Security, all of that. Now, give them a call today and set up an appointment. You're just going to feel better about everything. 314-888-5101, 314-888-5101. 5101.
Visit 971talk.com/events and enjoy Trans-Siberian Orchestra, a Christmas tradition at Enterprise Center December 23rd. A portion of the proceeds benefits Siteman Kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. Visit 971talk.com.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right, nice, soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
Just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
Hey guys, Sid Glock and Colt here from Tactical St. Peter's. Have you ever dreamt of owning a belt-fed weapon system? Stop in today and ask about the Fight Light 5.56 or Freedom Ordnance 9mm belt-fed. It'll go Burt, Tactical Cave Springs, and St. Peter's.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meyer Grocery, or online at Amazon or at newnordicusa.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
And welcome back. I'm Ryan Recker. One last segment here. Congratulations again to Michael from Alton winning those AC/DC tickets this hour. That was fun. We'll give them away again tomorrow morning. I got a couple of clips that I thought might be interesting to play. I remember, Scott, I can't remember. You want to hear more clips from The View or you don't want to hear more
you
clips
know
from
the
The
answer
View?
to that.
There was Larry Kudlow was on Fox, and it was kind of interesting because Larry Kudlow, the financial guy, was asked about polling numbers, and he was kind of taken back by how poorly Donald Trump is polling. And he cited that economically speaking, there's a lot of these indicators that are looking like these are good numbers, like things are actually trending in a much better direction than they were under Joe Biden. And we should be happy about these. However, people are still not happy. Larry Kudlow tried to explain this. This is clip number 8.
Interestingly, and I want to get your take on this, polling-wise, he's doing very poorly on the economy. Now, there may be reasons for this, but I will just say the averages from Real Clear Politics, okay, on the economy, Mr. Trump is underwater 41.54, 13 points underwater. And on inflation, again, the average of Real Clear Politics, and there are a lot of good polls inside that average, he's underwater by 25 points, 61% disapprove, 36% approve. I'm not sure why this is, but those are not good numbers for going into the midterm. They're just not good numbers.
Yeah. It's, I think, baked into the cake, the problems with COVID, the inflation that we had. We added extra stimulus on top of stimulus, which we really didn't need, but we did it anyway. People enjoyed the free paycheck while they got it. And now we're paying the consequences of really high inflation. Now, though it came back down, once it's up and goes back down, and once it's baked into the cake, that's probably the right way to put in the way to describe it. It's, you can't pull it back out. So I think it's going to be a rude awakening. It doesn't matter in some cases which way the economy does go. But the impression is things are high, things are expensive. People aren't making it up the way that they hoped when it comes to the cost of living. And it's going to reflect poorly on Donald Trump, even though this is probably more of a reaction to the Biden era politics. Because if things would have been, I guess, settled earlier and we didn't do that second stimulus, then maybe we'd be in a better position right now. Maybe we can learn from some of the mistakes, but nonetheless, we got to get this debt under control. We can't keep spending like drunken sailors. It don't work like that. Talking about spending like drunken sailors, Fox's Greg Gutfeld, this is part of the Five, was talking about Mamdani, and he really ripped into him. He's like, okay, let's give your full impression of what Mamdani looks like. This is clip number 7.
Zoran may be not a harbinger of the future, but a result of the past. Like he's like the tail at the comet of wokeism. After a decade of punitive, terrible ideas, this is the beast that was created, a torrent of bad ideas. This is the hangover. This is the bottom. So this is the way I'm trying to tell myself things won't be so bad, is that he's the end of something and not the beginning of something. When you put it down on paper, it's so improbable that it has to be orchestrated. I'm sorry, I'm not a conspiracist. You have a hard left socialist with no managerial background, 34 years old, hatred for capitalism and Jews, said cops were a threat to public safety, said he was going to target white neighborhoods. What does that sound like to you? It sounds like an Antifa Twitter feed of the last 10 years, but now harnessed with a publicist and millions of dollars in the bank. I never heard from Zoran why he wants to be mayor. Never heard that.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I tell you that Greg Gutfeld has a great way of boiling things down. Now, keep in mind, I'm not a big fan of the Harry Potter series, but the way that Greg Gutfeld describes this, maybe Ethan and Scott, you can help me here. He says this is kind of the tail end of the comet. This is the end. This is the reaction to all these other things. Is Mamdani the Voldemort in this scenario? He like comes in at the end and it's like a long saga, and this is where the big battle happens.
I can't help you with Harry Potter references. All I can say is that I think it's true. He's a 34-year-old, so he's grown up in the social media era, and I think a lot of young people have been highly influenced by things that are online and social media that aren't necessarily true or good for the country or whatnot. And yeah, I think he's a byproduct, is what I think he is. And yeah. It's a little bit scary, though. I mean, New York City voters went to the polls and they chose him to be their next mayor. We'll see. They might regret that decision a few months from now.
So is his number one thing, rich people are bad, so we're going to make it so there's no rich people? Is that his number one goal in all of this? And one way to get rid of rich people is to force them to leave, because there's no other option for them. That's one way of making it work, because you're not going to get it through taxes if they're going to be evading them by leaving your city, especially businesses that bring jobs out with them. You're just not going to have someone slot in and say, we're just going to take over this business and we're going to run it because we know how to run it. Kind of like a 34-year-old Mamdani in New York City. If he thinks he's going to run it, much like these people they interviewed on the street saying, we'll just slip in and we'll run the businesses of the people that leave, and we'll do it cheaper and we'll do it better. And it just in real life does not work out that way.
People like him are always poo-pooing running businesses and what businesses do for the economy. I mean, it's absurd. Go ahead. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got now.
Yeah. Well, based on the speech from last night, I don't think there's going to be any begging for help from the federal government once they're underwater and they go bankrupt, kind of like California went bankrupt. I think you're going to see that very quickly. And, remember all the tactics Republicans did when it came to shipping illegal immigrants to other cities? Imagine an influx of illegal immigrants to New York thinking that they're going to get taken care of by Mamdani. All right, that'll about do it for the show today. Have a great rest of your day. We'll be back again tomorrow on the Marc Cox Morning Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.